Floresville.
To the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vegas. What a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, this could be a game changer. The American Athletic Conference approved an initiative today to establish a minimum standard of benefits called Minimum Investment Program that schools are required to share with athletes in the new revenue-sharing era of college sports. Schools must share at least $10 million in cumulative additional benefits over a 3-year period, starting with a 25-26 academic year.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on a Friday afternoon hanging out at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak. Just scared the hell out of a whole bunch of people trying to enjoy a late lunch. Go, what are those guys doing over there at the bar yelling?
Yeah, that poor
Sorry,
lady.
ma'am.
It'll be okay. I promise. It'll be all right.
That was a thumbs up. I thought it was a different finger. But, yeah, no, it's off to a...
I think she thought about a different finger.
She might have originally.
She's a lady.
Yeah,
she's a lady. That's why. Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, you think about here at Mellow Mushroom, late lunch, enjoy your happy hour, because you think about great happy hours in this city. I don't know that one is better where there's half off all alcohol and $5 pizza pretzel bites and $5 bruschetta for happy hour from 3 to 6.
A bruschetta is good.
Yeah, have you had any?
I've had not here, but I've had it. I'm sure it's delicious.
See, it's the pretzel bites that always do me in, because you get that beer cheese, which is delicious, and so you order that, and then you eat all that, and then your pizza comes in. Then you end up taking your pizza home because you're full. But I mean, bartender's waiting for you. Half price happy hour. It doesn't get better than that.
She's chopping up limes right now, getting ready for everybody to come in here and have a drink and have some fun and start your weekend early here at the Mellow Mushroom.
Absolutely. And look, I mean, lots of specials. We're in March. You know what's happening here. So they're having their Mellow Mushroom Margarita Madness. Their margarita is $5.55.
Oh, wow.
It's hard to beat that. Starting today through April 7th.
Fantastic. And It's a great place to come, once March Madness kicks off. But it's a great place. I got to tell you what, I tried to eat a whole pizza today.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Pretty much. I mean, it's good. You ever have the food that's good, and you just don't want to stop eating it, even though you're full already.
Well, it's true. Now, it's interesting because, here at Mellow Mushroom, they'll do pizzas pretty much however you want it. Now, no surprise, I don't want a vegetable anywhere near me, and they've got a pizza here called the Mighty Meter. And it's all meats. It's all fantastic. But if you want pineapple on your pizza, we'll make fun of you, but you can do that.
You don't want to do that.
I mean, some people do.
Some do. I guess. I don't know what's wrong with some people, but if that's what they want to do, I guess they'll put pineapple on your pizza if you want them to do that. But
it's your money.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news is if you order a pineapple on your pizza. See, like Greg Shelton just ordered a pizza. It has arrived, and Grumpy asked Greg Shelton, there's not a vegetable anywhere in sight. And I joked with him and said, dude, I mean, I can't believe you ordered a pizza that had pineapple. And he looked and was very confused, double-checked with the lady who obviously knew I was screwing with him, and she was doing the same thing, and Greg Shelton was really starting to question his life, that he could order something called Mighty Meter, and it would have pineapple on it.
That's additional, though.
Well, no. See, on that one, you just say, hold the pineapple, and they just look at you funny.
Exactly.
Yes. Which most people do anyway when Greg speaks.
Well, I hope nothing goes wrong now with the show, because we just lost Shelton for about an hour.
I mean, Greg understands. It's like an airplane, man. Once we get the takeoff, it's on autopilot until it's time to land this thing at 6 o'clock.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, if there's turbulence, he's just going to tell you to go figure it out yourself, buckle up, and hold on to your drink. I mean, he's about to have that pizza, then he's going to have a nap. Because that is what Greg Shelton does.
Dude, I might have to have a nap as much as I ate today. It's unbelievable.
I'm impressed with how much of that pizza you ate.
It was so damn good. I'm going to tell you what. Sometimes you just can't stop. And I didn't.
Well, there's still some. And when I got here and I ordered for us because I knew what you were going to want too, and we were going to share a pizza. And I was like, do I go with this? I'm not going to get a small. I mean, a large might be too much because I know I'm going to have other things throughout the day here. And this is also going to be my dinner. So what are we going to do? So I go with the medium, and there's still 2 slices left of that thing. Although Greg Shelton looked at it and says, that ain't enough for me. I'm just going to order my own.
Well, and he wanted it hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you and I come in here, we're working. We're working hard.
We've been
hard to
here
eat
for hours.
Work. Exactly.
Well, it's like my wife who's off today because we're heading to the coast after the show, and she's like, "Oh, I'll come have lunch with you and Joe." And I'm like, "No, no, we're working."
Yeah.
I mean, we're working. We're talking about the show. We're getting everything ready. If you're there, we won't get any work done. So she didn't come to lunch with us.
She didn't. You're gonna have a pizza waiting for her? So on the drive?
Yeah. I'm sure she'll show up at 5 and order it and be ready to go.
You got to take care of the wife, man. Come on.
I always do. She's fine. She's fine. But, I mean, you would have got a bunch of baby questions as you prepare for the weekend if she were at lunch. I know you don't want to deal with that.
I don't want to deal with that.
And I don't want to hear about it either.
No, I really don't. So it worked out perfectly. It did. It worked out great. But come on down and join us. Start your weekend a little bit early with us here at the Mellow Mushroom because I think the happy hour starts at 3, correct? 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
So 3 o'clock.
Today we'll start it early today. Can we do that? We're just going to start it early today? Just nod your head.
Who do we have to talk to?
Yeah, just nod your head yes.
Just say yes.
Yeah, she said it was okay. Absolutely. Absolutely.
She had a terrified look on her face, and she's got to go find someone and make sure that is okay.
Just blame me. I'll say we're going to start happy hour early, all right? Cool. There we go. See, we got the okay there.
There you go. Right there. Bam.
Absolutely. That's what we're going to do. You look at all the different things going on in the sports world today that we are going to hit on between now and 6 o'clock. One of them, Kellen Mond, the San Antonio Brahmas quarterback, will join us at 3:35. Even there's all this stuff that has been going on with the UFL and players and unions and will be a strike. Kellen Mond will join us at 3:35. We'll talk to him about what's going on. And for a guy like Kellen, a strike, and I understand you want to stand with your brothers in a situation like this, but he's got an opportunity to play and play well and get back to the NFL. I don't know that he has time for a strike. And not just Kellen, but probably 90% of that league, their goal is to get to the NFL or back to the National Football League.
Well, and that's the goal, and that's the thing. And look, I'm not saying anybody should take advantage of the players. It's not what I'm saying here. But when you're talking about a 3-4 month period of time, I'm not sure arguing about money is the best way to handle that, or going on strike and not playing is the best way to handle that. Play football, get back to the league, and get it done. Now, if your aim is not to get to the league, then maybe it's a little bit more important. But for a guy like Kellen Mond, who has the talent to get back to the NFL and stay there, it seems to me you just want to play football.
And it's not like they're not making much money. I mean, they're making pretty good money for what that league is. So hopefully they get all that resolved and there's no play stoppage. And when the Brahmas are ready to get started, the Brahmas are going to get started in the UFL. A lot of drama on the basketball court, or really off of the basketball court. Boy, Stephen A. and LeBron getting into it. Charles Barkley calling out Kendrick Perkins and Kendrick Perkins responding. And all of this when there's some really damn good NBA basketball being played right now, and that's not what people are talking about.
Not what people – no, but and look, those guys kind of like it that way.
Yeah.
You're talking about Charles Barkley. Although we'll hand it to Stephen A. Smith. He was just watching the game. Minding his own business, and LeBron came up and started arguing with him. So we'll get into that because I definitely have some thoughts on both of those situations, and I can't wait to vent a little bit when it comes to that. Plus, I think some good news for UTSA athletics today.
Huge news with the American Athletic Conference setting a floor on what universities have to spend to be a part of the league. They call it the minimum investment program. Now, we'll get into the details, and we'll try to figure out how it affects and relates to UTSA. Now, we reached out to UTSA to see if we could get Lisa Campos on today. Short notice, a lot going on with college basketball tournaments and that sort of stuff. Her schedule is full. Same thing with Tim Pernetti, the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference. He's traveling this afternoon, getting ready for conference tournaments. We're going to try to get Tim Pernetti on probably Monday or Tuesday, trying to figure that out early next week. But there is a minimum. And what I find interesting is the plan that they came up with. Now, according to this article in Yahoo from Ross Dellinger, it wasn't unanimous by the presidents, but it did pass. We weren't told what the vote was, but this passed. This has been accepted, but not everybody voted yes on this. So I have no idea how UTSA voted in this situation. But over the next 3 years, to stay in the conference, you've got to spend at least $10 million in NIL type of dollars, right? So that's basically over a 3-year period.
Yeah.
So you could do 2 million, 4 and 4. You could do 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. I just worry the cost of business seems to go up every year. If you're thinking, okay, we're going to do 3.5 this year, 3.5 next year, and 3.5 2 years from now, 3.5 2 years from now might not cut it.
No.
As far as keeping the players and the coaches happy. So, but at least we know what the floor is, because at one point we were hearing the floor could be at least $1 million, which is you could look around in college football and go, well, that doesn't get you very far.
No, it doesn't. And look, it's going to go up. There's no doubt about it. How are schools going to use this money and allocate it to help everybody concerned? And again, I don't mean to slight any other sport, but football is king at any university. It just is. And it pays the bills and pays the bills for most everybody else. So hopefully that's all taken into consideration, and especially here at UTSA, they get what they need to move on and move forward.
We'll get into that coming up here in a bit, but coming up next here on The Blitz, live out of Mellow Mushroom, as the free agency frenzy begins on Monday. We'll look at the latest NFL news, and John Machota has a great mock draft out we'll dive into. Coming up live at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Can a president not have sex with a porn star?
Clinton did it. No one had a problem with Clinton doing it.
Or Kennedy, or...
No one had problems with them doing it, right?
It's definitely an ingredient that was injected from the other side. What's the guy's name? Mm-hmm. The evil guy from Hungary, super rich.
Dracula?
No.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Hey, Rob Thompson here from my friends over at Prize Picks. The second half of the basketball season is here. The race to playoffs is on, and there's no better time to get Prize Picks because the money, it's heating up. 1,000 times your cash, Taco Tuesdays, and the way they pay. Let me tell you, Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your accounts. There's no better way to get started with Prize Picks than right now as basketball season ends. And here's the best thing about Prize Picks is you can combine different leagues. You got a favorite in the pros, you got a favorite in the college, you can put them together to really maximize your bets. And remember the code Alamo. Remember, you download that when you sign up today. There's money to be had. No better place than Prize Picks right now. As the basketball season winds down, go for the place to get the best cash with your favorite sports. That's Prize Picks. You know what you're doing. Go play. In fact, go run your game.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. That's exactly what I did. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home evaluation. That's Orchard.com.
If you're tired of drinking the same old beer, good news for you, friends. Karbach Brewing has you covered. They've got something for everybody in their lineup. No matter what you like, they can improve on what you've been drinking. Whether it's a Hopadillo, a Love Street, or a Crawford Bock, they've got something for everybody. And Karbach has one of the leading IPAs in San Antonio, Hopadillo IPA, an iconic Texas IPA packed with the bitterness of hops from around the world that the hop monster craves. And one of Karbach's leading brands, the top seller in San Antonio, in fact, is the Love Street Blonde. It's a state of mind, a San Antonio state of mind. It's a Kolsch-style blonde, hopped delicately with floral German hops. This beer has the clean malt profile that you're looking for. And if you're used to drinking cerveza, they've got that as well. The Karbach Cerveza Especial is right for you. Like I said, something for everybody. And when you're in Houston, make sure you go check out the brewery, check out all the beers they have on tap. But while you're here in San Antonio, you want to try something new, why don't you try out a Karbach?
Methodist Care Now Urgent Care has 18 locations throughout San Antonio, open 7 days a week. From injuries and illnesses to school and sports physicals, Care Now Urgent Care is here to help you feel better fast. Find a location near you at carenow.com and use our convenient web check-in today.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
I'm rehearsing. There are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line. Additional terms apply for JD Power 2024 award information. Visit jdpower.com/awards.
Welcome to The Hangar, Petrenko, your go-to spot for mouthwatering wings, ice-cold cocktails, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Come taste some of the best wings in town, served by their friendly staff with even friendlier cocktails. Only at Hangar Petrenko, where great food, drinks, and friends come together.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. You can always watch and subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. He's Joe Ryan-Angle. I'm Jason Minix, hanging out on a Friday afternoon at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak. 1604, just before Stone Oak Parkway. Come hang out. Half price happy hour.
It's going on now. We've got the approval to start it early. So Lindsay's ready for you. She's behind the bar. The limes are cut, and she's ready to go.
She's ready to go.
Yes.
Yes. Take advantage of the Mellow Mushroom Margarita Madness. All margaritas. $5.55.
That's an incredible price for a margarita.
It really is.
Really is.
And during happy hour, everything is half off. Half off.
Half off.
Half off.
Outstanding.
Dude.
Come out and start your weekend.
Well, we always work. It's kind of like Lindsay. You work during happy hour, so you don't really get to take advantage of happy hour prices. So I'm not overly familiar with everybody's happy hour, but I understand 50% off is 50% off. I don't care where you are or what you're doing.
Exactly. That's perfect. I love it. And they got anything you want here. Any kind of drink. They got a bunch of beer on tap.
Bar.
All kinds of stuff. So come on out and join us out here and come hungry.
It's a Friday. On Mondays, we call it Mellow Mushroom Monday because every Monday we give a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom away, both on the Morning Huddle and on the Blitz. But Monday is going to be anything but mellow when it comes to NFL media because the free agent frenzy will begin 11 o'clock our time when teams can, they used to call it the legal tampering period. Now they got some fancy word for where you can start negotiating and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to start hearing on Monday about this player, that player, what deals they're reaching in, what dominoes are going to fall first. And, while there might be some, little deals done or deals that you don't give a damn, it's all about the quarterback. does Sam Darnold have a deal worked out either with Minnesota or somebody else by the time the Blitz starts Monday at 2?
Well, that's going to be interesting to see. And I mean, there's a lot of players out there. What's going to happen with the Myles Garrett? I know he's not a free agent, but will somebody trade for this guy? And you've got Trey Hendrickson now, who's looking for a trade. Cincinnati Bengals pass rusher. So a lot of interesting tidbits to sort out. A couple of Najee Harris and Aaron Jones could become free agents as well.
Well, and again, expected. And will they have new teams? Because they can't officially sign until Wednesday, but they could agree to terms starting at Monday, 11 a.m. our time. And you bring up Myles Garrett. This Myles Garrett story is interesting to say the least. Now, obviously, with Myles Garrett, when he requested a trade during Super Bowl week, all right, let's see what somebody's willing to do. Now you got Trey Hendrickson. Now there's competition. But the Browns continue to say they don't want to trade him and that they love him. Apparently, Myles Garrett wanted to meet with Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. He said he was too busy. I'm not going to meet with you. Go deal with the football ops people. What I don't understand, if you're not going to trade him, you don't want to trade him, that you're not interested in trading, blah, blah, blah. If you're the owner and a Myles Garrett wants to meet with you, don't you try to love on him a little bit, hear him out, try to convince him that Cleveland is the place for him, that they love you and all that, instead of saying, no, dude, I ain't got time for you. Go talk to the GM.
Well, obviously that's an owner who's pissed off, right? I mean, he's upset. And he doesn't want to talk because Myles Garrett doesn't want to be here. And if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here either.
But they won't let him leave.
Best thing to happen to Cleveland is to trade this guy and rebuild, start over. Nick Chubb's another one. And I think that's what Myles Garrett is upset about. Who's going to be the quarterback? Nick Chubb might be gone. That's a possibility. So, he doesn't know what kind of team. Maybe that's what he wanted to talk about. What are you going to do? How are you going to put a team on the field that can actually compete and win? And if I'm Myles Garrett, I want out of there too. I don't think anybody wants to go to Cleveland. But if you're Cleveland, I think that's the best thing for you. You trade Myles Garrett, you get a bunch of draft picks, and you rebuild that team because there's a lot of rebuilding that needs. So let him go. And maybe the owner realizes that and he said, the heck with you. You want to be out of here? We want you out of here, and we're going to start over.
Well, except for it's complete opposite. Owner won't meet with them, but they're also saying they're not going to entertain trades. They don't want to trade them. So you're telling me how much you value me, but I can't even get a sit down with the owner to air my grievances, which is why I think he wants to go above the GM's head, is because the GM keeps saying, we're not taking calls. We're not going to trade Myles Garrett. We're not going to do this. And if that's what they're telling Myles Garrett, he's like, well, I'll go sit down with Jimmy Haslam and we'll hash this out man to man. And Haslam is not even going to take the call. So it's not even, you don't want to be here. We don't want you here. It's, I know you've asked for a trade. We're not going to trade you. And by the way, I don't have time to sit down with you to tell you how much I love you and value you.
Jason, what season is it?
Lying season.
Thank you very much. It is lying season. The GM is obviously lying because he wants to get a good deal for Myles Garrett. So that's the way it is. I think they are under the impression that he's not going to be with them, and it's time for Cleveland to do something and rebuild. And the best way to do that is to trade Myles Garrett. As much as you hate to do that, maybe the best pass rusher in the NFL at this moment in time, you get a haul for him, send him off to Buffalo or Philadelphia or wherever he is that he's going to go, and you move on.
Well, and then but now you've got Trey Hendrickson. So if you wanted Myles Garrett, and if Cleveland truly isn't taking calls or asking for way too much, now you've got Trey Hendrickson that you could make a phone call to and see what you could work out. It is interesting, and over the next couple of days, this weekend and then starting Monday, you're gonna hear a lot of that. The number of players that have been released or are going to be released. I'm curious to see what the Houston Texans do starting Monday. They're releasing Shaq Mason today. No real surprise there. Dude was awful last year. He allowed 10.5 sacks last year. And as John McClain was telling us yesterday, nobody's surprised that they're going to let Shaq Mason go. But that entire offensive line was bad. But they're going to have to find 2 new starters. And the chances are they're not going to draft 2 rookies and have them out there. So will they be players either through trade or free agency to try to fill some voids in that offensive line?
Well, I tell you what, you just look at Nick Casario's track record. The guy's pretty aggressive. And just with the trade yesterday for Christian Kirk, I mean, going out and getting a wide receiver, they needed that. They filled that void, got him relatively cheap. So, yeah, I think they will go out in the free agent market and find an offensive lineman and draft one as well. But Nick Caserio is one of those GMs that I like because he shoots. I mean, he takes aim, he fires, and he tries to get somebody in there, and that's what he's done. And props to Houston. They'll fill that up.
Well, and they will, but it's going to be interesting to see their approach. They don't have quite the same amount of money they did a year ago. And even, the year before that, when they signed all those guys on one-year deals, they were able to be selectively aggressive, as Stephen Jones would say. But a lot of one-year contract guys, prove-it kind of deals that really worked out in D'Amico's rookie season as head coach. And, again, having a rookie quarterback, they didn't know how good they were going to be with C.J. Stroud. And, now that they realize they've got a franchise quarterback, a legit franchise quarterback, and then a legit superstar on the defensive side out of that draft, and Will Anderson Jr., my new favorite player for the Houston Texans, now they can really start to build and try to get to a Super Bowl while C.J. Stroud is on his rookie deal. Problem that they have is the timing of everything. When you look at, you still got to deal with the Chiefs. What is Cincinnati going to do? Buffalo has something to say about that. So does Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. And how good can the Chargers actually end up being, who is a sneaky team to watch starting on Monday because they've got some money to spend, and the Harbaugh effect going into year two, because you start seeing some of these wide receivers that are out there, from a Devontae Adams to a DK, like all these big name receivers linked to pair up opposite Ladd McConkey and have Justin Herbert throwing him the football.
That wouldn't be a bad deal for Justin Herbert, would it?
No.
Not at all, it wouldn't. The Raiders as well. I know that Pete Carroll wouldn't mind a reunion with DK Metcalf.
Yep.
So that's been talked about. Could the Raiders do something there with Metcalf? So it's going to be a great free agent period, a great offseason with a lot of drama, I think, for a lot of different teams. Not named the Houston Texans or the Dallas Cowboys. There's going to be a lot league-wide. There's always drama with the Cowboys, don't get me wrong. But I think there's going to be other drama elsewhere as well.
I mean, let's talk about the Cowboys then, because while, as you pointed out, it is lying season.
It is.
Jerry Jones did say, or lie, earlier this week that they're not going to use free agency to fill voids when you think about what they plan on doing in the draft, which you can either take from what he said as complete BS, which I do, or that they're going to draft for need and not best player available when the draft rolls around, even though they always tell you they go BPA, best player available, who's at the top of their board when they're picking. That's what they're going to do. So taking Jerry at his word, which is a very dangerous thing to do in March, John Machota from The Athletic has put together his second mock draft of the offseason. And John Machota, who will join us at 5:15 today, went with the approach of, all right, if Jerry is true that he's not going to go spend all that cap space in free agency that he's cleared out this week, what are they going to do in the draft? And Machota has the Cowboys in the first round taking that McMillan kid, the wide receiver, 6'4" wide receiver out of Arizona. I would not be mad at that at all.
I don't think that's a bad pick either. It's not a running back, obviously, and we'll talk about running backs as we move through this draft. But that wouldn't be bad at all. It gives Dak another target. It gives some relief to CeeDee Lamb as well. And then the Cowboys are gonna have an overflow at the wide receiver position. And so I'm thinking maybe some of these guys even could be available. If you're going to do something or make a trade. I mean, you can't keep all of these wide receivers.
Well, you're going to have 5 or 6. So when you look at the wide receivers that they have, obviously you've got CeeDee Lamb as your legit number 1. I don't know that they have a legit, quote-unquote, number 2 wide receiver on the roster right now. Sure, they gave up a 4th-round pick last year for Jonathan Mingo, but he has done nothing to say that he's going to be the legit guy. Jalen Tolbert, he's been around long enough. I don't know if he's that guy or not. Inconsistent comes to mind. You got Jalen Brooks. You got Jalen Cropper. You've got Kevontae Turpin, who's going to make $5 million a year, but he's not a legit in the Cowboys' eyes, wide receiver. He's the return specialist that can help on the offensive side. Now, if Schottenheimer can figure out a way to get more usage out of him as a wide receiver, more power to him, and he probably needs to try to figure that out. But when I'm thinking about like my top 3-4 wide receivers, I'm not factoring in Turpin. He's a specialist, and because he is such a weapon in the return game, he's earned a place on the roster, but I don't look at him as one of those wide receivers I'm going to count on.
But I don't look at anybody. Honestly, other than CeeDee Lamb, who do you look at? Nobody. Now, look, I'm going to give Jonathan Mingo a little bit of a break. He came in midseason. Give him an adjustment period to go through the OTAs, go through a training camp, and we'll see what he does. Obviously, the guy's a talented wide receiver. Fourth-round pick, that's the Cowboys' MO, though. Yep. They like to give away those fourth-round picks. So we'll see. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt heading into the season to see how he does. But Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert, they've had their opportunities. And at times – they've made some plays, but at times they haven't. And you got Ryan Flournoy, who I think is a guy that you can't sleep on either. I think he's got an opportunity to be a factor in the passing game as well. But you look at that list, and if they draft this kid McMillan out of Arizona, you've got McMillan and CeeDee Lamb. Other than that, I don't trust any of these guys.
Well, and to your point, I don't know that any of them are a 2. All of those guys are a solid third option.
Woo, I don't know about solid.
Well, solid third option, fourth option. I mean, I think Jalen Tolbert, solid third option. He could be a 3. Flournoy, that guy's either going to be like a Noah Brown or a Cedric Wilson, right? Somewhere in there. Now, last year, his rookie season didn't have as many opportunities, so maybe he develops. But Tolbert, he's been around long enough. Either at some point have to or get off the pot. You know what I mean? And it's probably time for him to move off the pot. But but if I were penciling in, I've got a lot of guys that I could say you could be the number 3. I still don't have a number 2, and that includes Jonathan Mingo. And also with Schottenheimer being a new head coach, is this going to be an offensive-minded draft because you've got a new offensive-minded head coach? Even though they've got a lot of needs on the defensive side, and I think Machota must be thinking that, Shotty, offensive coach, we're getting offense, because while John Machota has the Cowboys taking a receiver with the first pick, your running back is coming in round 2, pick 44 overall out of Iowa, running back Caleb Johnson.
And again, I'm concerned about this, and I can't wait to talk to John about it. I mean, you're taking a wide receiver and a running back, 1-2.
Yep.
You still have some concerns on the offensive line, at least depth-wise, and you don't know what's going to happen with the guys you got to plug in that you're losing with Zach Martin. Terrence Steele, is he going to be around? Not sure. That offensive line is a concern, and we've already talked about the defensive line. It's a concern still. Osa, they signed him. That was a good deal. Mozzie Smith, who the hell knows whether Mozzie Smith is ever going to be the guy that they thought he would be when they took him number 1 overall. I just think going offense 1-2 is a big mistake in my mind.
Now, it depends on what your board says. If they do not get a running back in free agency outside of re-signing Rico Dowdle, then I don't have a problem with them taking a Caleb Johnson in the second round or somebody like a Caleb Johnson. I don't want a first-round running back. I'd like to wait till third, but depending on how the draft is going. But if there's one of these guys that you love at a position that we don't need running backs anymore to, we really need a running back, then you might have to go running back a little sooner than you might normally, because I think we've all learned in the last year, 2 years, how important having a legit running back is. And they truly don't address it in free agency with one of the available running backs, and we're looking at the draft for a running back. I don't know that you could afford to wait, especially knowing you don't have a 4th-round pick. If there's a guy that you love at running back in the second round and you're worried somebody else is going to take him, then I think you do have to pull the trigger there.
I just think what has happened, the way John Machota has this set up, the fans are going to go nuts, because I can already hear it from you. Oh, this is great. I love this. I love that. It'd be fantastic. But it doesn't address what you truly need. It doesn't. And you can find running backs. And I don't know. This Caleb Johnson had a great year last year. Just reading the stats, quite honestly, I don't know a lot about him. But I just don't. I think you're appeasing the fans are going to be happy. That's going to make them happy. We've got some offensive weapons. Well, you still can't stop the run. You still can't block for the run, and there's a lot of things that you still can't do. I just think you've got to go down and dirty and improve the foundation of this football team before you can go out and get the nice luxury tables and chairs and windows that you want in your house.
Well, I mean, sometimes you buy the table and then figure out the house to work around the table, and that's what the Cowboys are doing here in round 3. Defensive tackle Jordan Phillips out of Maryland, providing a little bit of depth behind Osa. And again, since Mozzie hasn't proven to be worthy, you've got to get some depth there. And again, I do think I don't mind the order here. I don't want a running back in the first round. Second round, maybe a little bit high, depending on what is happening at the running back position. But round 3, they're going defense. They don't have a 4th-round pick as we sit today. Round 5, they go with the cornerback, Zy Alexander, out of LSU. So gets and then in round 5, a defensive end out of Miami. So I think, to your point, they're looking for that defensive meat in these middle rounds.
Well, they've got 4 5th-round draft picks.
Yep.
4 of them.
Yep.
So why not use one of those or 2 of them to move up or do something else there? I'm hoping the Cowboys will get creative and do something like that. Look, if you read Machota's deal, it's a cornerback is enough of a need that it can't be completely ruled out with the first pick in the draft for the Cowboys. I totally agree with that. You're not going to have Trayvon Diggs this year. He's out. You got to replace that guy. Carson, it was adequate. He started off good, but then faded down the stretch. Is he a guy? I don't know. I guess we'll see depending on where the Cowboys go with this. But I hope the Cowboys do something other than pick all of these guys. Now, Machota, and I appreciate it, and I get it. You don't want to go into trade scenarios and all of this stuff. But the Cowboys have 10 picks. I hope they don't draft 10 guys.
They can't.
I hope that they use those picks for something else, tradable, something that they can do to get a veteran player in here and or 2 and do something right away.
And skipping down, because they do fill a lot of holes in this draft that Machota's put together, but also 6th-round pick, Max Brosmer, quarterback, Minnesota.
Yay.
Well, I mean, at least they might draft a quarterback.
Yay, that's awesome.
I mean, looking at this kid's numbers, I have no idea who the hell this guy is. He played 4 seasons at New Hampshire, 36 games, threw for 8,713 yards and 70 touchdowns, then transferred to Minnesota where he threw for 2,828 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions last season. Cool.
No, it's great, and I'm glad to see that they're looking at a quarterback. I mean, I think that's necessary because look, that's a need they've got to fill too.
Yep,
they don't have a backup right now, other than Will Greer, and I'm not sure that he's the guy. So that's obviously a need. But are you going to trust a rookie if Dak goes down?
Well,
there's another thing. So
I still think Cooper Rush will end up coming back on a team-friendly deal because, quite honestly, while Cooper has proven to be a game-ready backup quarterback, is there a lot of interest there? I mean, his minimum salary is nice. And
what did he make, $2 million last year?
I want to say, I mean, he's been around a long time. I just don't know that there's other teams that are going to be pursuing a Cooper Rush for the backup spot. So I do think Cooper Rush ultimately will be back with the Dallas Cowboys. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star live at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak. Come hang out with us. Enjoy half-price happy hour at the bar. It's half-price 3 to 6 Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday. Half price off all alcohol.
Yeah, but today it's 2 to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got that
it's going on right now.
You can come in right now and get that done. So.
Absolutely. Come hang out with us. Now, the price of doing business in the American Athletic Conference has gone up. I think this is great news for UTSA and head football coach Jeff Traylor. We'll talk about it coming up next here on the Blitz, live at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
With conference championships just around the corner, now's the time to register for Twin Peaks $1 Million Bracket Challenge. Go sign up at TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com and fill out your bracket before the tournament tips on March the 20th. Enter for a chance to win $2 million and other epic prizes, including $50 gift cards to the top bracket from every Twin Peaks lodge. Step up your game at Twin Peaks with 29-degree cold beer, handcrafted cocktails, and scratch kitchen-made food to satisfy your every craving. Only at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please. Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours. Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours. Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Calling all flag football fans. HEB and the Dallas Cowboys are hosting the first annual Dallas Cowboys Flag Football Classic presented by HEB. On March 16th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., head to the Star Soccer Complex in San Antonio to watch local youth flag football teams take the field, hang with Rowdy at the Dallas Cowboys Hall of Fame trailer, and more. For more details, visit DallasCowboys.com/HEB flag today.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit IFFhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away. Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Is that a new Samsung Galaxy A15 5G?
Yeah, I got it for free when I joined Cricket Nation.
Sounds pretty great.
At Cricket, anyone can get a new phone when they switch.
Whoa.
With a high-quality camera, meaning more flattering selfies for all. And super fast 5G, so you can post them for all to see. Your friends, your family, your ex. Free phone! Free phone!
Okay, I'll switch.
Welcome to Cricket Nation.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must bring your number to Cricket on a $60 a month voice plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. These terms and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Start your wellness journey with the YMCA. Join any Monday in March and enjoy no joining fees. Get a sneak peek of what the Y has to offer as their guest on Monday, March 17th. Don't miss out. No join fees any Monday in March. Join the YMCA today and save towards your wellness journey.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, April 14th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Pan American Golf Association, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Ensira.com and PPL Motorhomes. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, April 14th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com. Swing it!
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix at Mellow Mushroom. Stone Oak, come hang out with us on this Friday afternoon. You just heard Big Voice Guy talking about our golf tournament coming up April 14th out at the Golf Club of Texas, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Make sure you get your foursome signed up. It's $400, benefiting the Pan American Golf Association.
Yeah, we're a little over a month away from that thing, and you know it's going to sell out. They always do. So the sooner you get in, you can sleep better at night. You know, you're worried about it. I know you're worried about it.
Well, and, you know, it's interesting because I was talking to Bo LaHue over at the Golf Club of Texas earlier today, and he was just talking about how the course and all the renovations and work that they've been doing there. And he's like, I've got one more project. When your tournament gets here, it's going to be perfect in just over a month. And, you know, I can't wait to get out there. And, you know, and I think two things. One, you get your team signed up. That's going to be your motivation to get out and get a practice round in, because you don't want to embarrass yourself out there at our golf tournament, because Reinagel will make fun of you if you're wearing a white belt not playing at the level you need to be playing. So get signed up now. Get to practicing, and we'll see you out at the Golf Club of Texas on Monday, April 14th.
That's what people don't understand. You know, in karate, you have a black belt.
Yeah.
If you're a good golfer, you have a white belt.
It's
just the way that it works. That's how it is. So
is that how it is?
That's it. So if you're wearing a white belt and you suck, I'm going to make you take it off.
Are you going to spank somebody with it?
Spank their little hiney.
Now, I got to ask you, I should know this. In karate terms, somebody tell me, is a white belt good or bad? I'm trying to remember. That's like beginner level, right?
It is. Yeah.
Like when my kid was trying to do karate, I think we started with a white belt, right? Is that right? White belt is beginner level?
Sure.
I'm trying to think what I remember from Cobra Kai. I know there's a new season of Cobra Kai out. I haven't watched any of it yet. But white belt is beginner, right?
It is.
But in golf, it's expert?
It's expert.
Huh.
Yes, expert level.
Now, is that real rules or Reinagel rules?
Well, it's Reinagel rules, which are really the only rules that matter.
Well, for you, but for the rest of us that live in the real world, which way do we go here?
Because admit you're not man enough to wear a white belt.
Well, I mean, I
right?
Don't know that I've ever thought about it, right? Right? I mean, on a golf course, I go get a white belt. I probably should, so I at least look the part, even though I don't play the part.
No, you really should.
Yeah,
and I expect you to have one.
Well,
by the golf tournament.
I don't even know where to get one, since they don't even sell them at the Golf Club of Texas, because Bo LaHue told me nobody buys them.
Well,
so why would he have them for sale?
How does he know they don't buy them if he doesn't have them there?
Well, I'm thinking a guy that runs a golf course and has for well over a decade understands what golfers want, and apparently they don't want a white belt.
Let me tell Bo, we're going to make a display for Bo.
Oh, good Lord.
With white belts, you'll put a picture of me right there on top.
Well, that won't sell a thing.
And that will sell them all. They'll all be gone.
Oh, they'll all be gone.
They'll all be gone. They'll fly out of that pro shop.
Uh-huh.
Bo, if you're listening, that's what we're going to do. And a nice portrait of me, smiling, white belt rack. Perfect.
Yeah.
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 I would help Bo make some money out there.
Is that what's going to happen?
Sure. I'm telling you, only real men wear white belts.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see. Big news today out of the American Athletic Conference. They have become the first league to set a minimum level of revenue sharing that the universities are going to have to do in order to stay in the league. All this talk about NIL and when that court case happens, and it's fully expected to happen, where teams have to share revenue with universities. Now, the big schools, the 20 million, 20.5, whatever it is, I mean, that's easy, right? Texas A&M, Texas Tech's already announced how they're going to divvy it up. But the smaller schools, that's tough money to come by, right? Not a lot of people have an extra couple $1 million laying around that they're just going to willingly share with the student athletes. But that's college athletics in 2025. We were talking with Tim Pernetti, the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference, in December when we were in Washington, D.C. for the Army-Navy Radio Row. And he talked about wanting to put a minimum level for the member institutions to be able to participate. And at the time, we were thinking it was going to be about $1 million at the very least, which isn't going to get it done.
No.
The idea of what they came up with and announced today, and it's the first of a kind, they're calling it their minimum investment program, is schools must share with their athletes at least $10 million, but over a 3-year period.
Right.
So you could look at that and say basically 3.5 a year for the next 3 years, or however you want to divide it up. But I know in 3 years, $3.5 million probably isn't going to go very far, because the cost of doing business in college football seems to be going up dramatically year to year. But at least there is a plan there. So for UTSA, and we've talked to Lisa Campos about this, and, Jeff Traylor has talked about this, is how are they going to come up with the money? Well, now, at the very least, we know where the floor is. Now, we also can all kind of figure out, just as grown adults in the room, minimums aren't going to get it done in college athletics. And so, but at least we know where the floor is that UTSA has to be at. Now, how they divide up over the 3 years that $10 million, who knows? But at least we know what the minimum is for UTSA to be a part of this, and not just UTSA, but everybody in the American. If you can't come up with that kind of money, then go to a different conference. Go back to Conference USA or wherever it is you're going to go. But if you want to be in the American, which is probably the best non-power conference out there, this is the minimum it's going to take.
Well, and to me, that takes the heat off of everybody a little bit, especially the administration there, because they know, okay, this is what we've got to do. So now you've got a target, because it didn't seem like they had a target before, right? So, all right, now we know if we want to stay in the American Athletic Conference, we want to be a player in that conference, we know what we have to hit. So let's get busy and let's hit that. What's going to be interesting to see is how they break it up. And when we talk to Tim Pernetti, the question I want to ask him is, it should all be the same. Don't allow schools to say, okay, we should spend $1 million this year and whatever there and so on and so forth. They should have to, it should be uniform, in my opinion. And that way it doesn't fluctuate. Let's make it solid and make it where it needs to be to make sure everybody is getting a fair shot in this thing. Look, Tim Pernetti seems like a guy that is very progressive and wants this conference to be top level, top right there under the Power Four conferences, which I believe it is. But look, if we've said this from the very beginning, Minix, if you can't pay to stay in a conference like this, then go somewhere else. And that way everybody knows. All right, you want to play in Conference USA? Fine. You want to go back to the Southland? Fine. Whatever conference we're talking about, do that. But if you want to play with the big boys, unfortunately, the way that it is now, you got to come up with the money and you got to pay.
And I would say the pressure is on Lisa Campos in the athletic department or the university, Taylor Amy, the president, to either come up with this money or go raise this money, along with all the other monies that they have to go raise, because we know where the minimum is. Now, they announced the hiring about a week or so ago of a GM called for Play 5 Max, and their job is to go raise that kind of money. You just saw in the last week or so that massive deal, the richest in college athletics, that Play 5 signed with Texas A&M. So it seems like UTSA, in anticipation of having to come up with this money, hiring a company in Playfly to be able to go generate that revenue that they're going to now have to share with the students. Now, and again, we're just holding up the 10 million, dividing it by 3.5. Different things that we've read and heard about. You need about 3.5, 4 million for football alone. You still have all the other sports that you have to take care of. And this 10 million number isn't football only. It is all sports. So, again, the minimum. I don't know that you're going to get it done if you're the minimum. The flip side of all this, while Jeff Traylor has been trying to raise as much money as he can and be able to secure the players that he's going to need for football, if you've got other universities in the American that weren't sure if how much they wanted to invest in football, they too now have a minimum that they're going to have to be able to hit and go spend in sharing that revenue with the players.
What baffles me about this whole thing is, number one, it just seems to me that, and every time we talk to Lisa or anybody else, seems to me like we're starting from zero. And I just find that hard to believe that, well, we're starting from zero and we got to raise $3 million. Oh my God, how are we going to do it? I can't believe that's the case, first and foremost. That baffled me. Somebody needs to explain it to me. And are all the coaches out fundraising? I mean, Jeff Traylor we know is, but is the basketball coach out fundraising? Yeah. The ladies basketball coach, the baseball coach, do all of them have to now take the time to go fundraise for themselves? That seems ridiculous to me.
Well, but I mean, they do. And, you know, it is one of the, and yeah, to your point, I mean, I know with women's basketball, and congratulations to Karen Alston, named the coach of the year. They got the player of the year, newcomer of the year, but they set that attendance record the other day, and they raised over $20,000 with the match donation that April Ann and Harvey Najum did, and that $20,000 all goes towards women's basketball. So, yeah, I do think that every one of these coaches, you know, I've got a friend who's got a kid on the soccer team, and I know that their coach is constantly fundraising as well. So, yeah, all these coaches are out trying to fundraise, but also UTSA as a university, or Play Fly Max, they now know the number that they have to hit on a minimum level to be able to stay in the conference. Now, we reached out today to UTSA and to the conference to get them on to further explain. It's one of those weird days. Everybody's traveling because of basketball tournaments and everything this weekend. Tim Pernetti, we're hoping and we're communicating early next week, he's going to be on with us, and we'll try to get on the schedule for Lisa Campos too. Understand this breaks today, and trying to get something done on a day like today with everybody traveling, tough to do, but we'll get more on this in the next week for sure.
And the decision just came down today. So, I mean, everybody's scrambling. That's for sure. And who was against it, who wasn't. And all of those things are going to come out. You know, they will. But I'm glad that this is a start. This is the first conference to do this, the American Athletic Conference. So props to Tim Pernetti for his vision of doing this. But now we got to get it done. And I have so many questions, Minix. I really do. So many questions on this that, I mean, I just don't. That just drive me insane.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what won't drive you insane? Half price happy hour, which is what they have here at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak. And one of the cool things they do here, like grumpy ass Greg Shelton could have brought Josie. Josie, our station dog, generally doesn't come on location, but this is a very pet friendly place. So friendly, in fact, that you get a 15% discount when you bring in your dog to eat with you on the patio, of course, every day, all day, every day. So Josie could be hanging out on the patio right now. So if you're rolling around with your dog, come on by.
I'd much rather see Josie anyway.
Than grumpy ass Greg
yeah,
Shelton?
I would, yes.
I mean, that's unanimous.
Well, that's the only reason people tolerate Greg.
True.
He brings Josie around.
True.
And he knows it.
Absolutely. Although, I mean, his dog likes people. He doesn't.
Exactly.
So 2 birds, 1 stone. Come hang out with us here at Mellow Mushroom, 1604, right near Stone Oak Parkway. It is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, let me tell you about Stevens Roofing. I love talking about Stevens Roofing. They are Family-owned company, local company, and they're simply the best in the business. And I know this because they've been in business for a long time, and they're not going anywhere. And you don't stay in business that long if you're not doing it right. Stevens Roofing is doing it right. And look, you look at the calendar, it is March 7th. That means spring is right around the corner. And with spring here in San Antonio and South Texas, you know what that brings. Those thunderstorms with the hail, the lightning, the wind, all of that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that your roof is ready to go. Stevens Roofing can help you with that. In fact, if you give them a call at 210-785-0994, they'll send somebody out to do a free roof inspection. Free roof inspection. Let them come up there, take a look at your roof, make sure that everything is okay. And if it is, they will tell you, have a nice day, and be on their way. If they're not, they'll tell you what's wrong, and they'll tell you how they can fix it. Look, don't let Texas weather catch you off guard. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Your roof keeps your family safe. Stevens Roofing is here to make sure you are always covered. Stevens Roofing, protecting Texas families one roof at a time. That phone number again, 210-785-0994.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
10-yard line, touchdown Vegas, what a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Jason Minix here. Let's talk about health as we age. It may feel like you're lacking energy or strength, always moody, your libido isn't what it used to be. Any of these could be caused by low testosterone. Go get tested at Synergenics Testosterone Weight Loss. Their patient-first VIP experience is fast and easy. I recommend Synergenics because their personalized therapy goes beyond standard treatments. They've been the go-to experts in TRT for over a decade. They also have affordable GLP-1 weight loss options. Get started at SynergenicsHealth.com. The St. Patty's Day parties at the Roof Pub are legendary, and this year it will be the biggest ever, spanning 2 days. Sunday, March 16th, it's a crawfish boil, all you can eat for $10. Then on St. Patrick's Day, Monday, it's a block party. The green beer will be flowing with live music starting at 2 with Irish Goodbye. Finding Friday takes the stage at 5. DJs inside both the Roof Pub and Angry Elephant. Plan now to celebrate St. Patrick's Day the right way at the Roof Pub and Angry Elephant, 281 in Redland Road.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Cleaned up in the American Athletic Conference Awards. Karen Ashton has been named as the Coach of the Year. Redshirt senior Jordan Jenkins is the Player of the Year. And Nina De Leon Negron captured the Newcomer of the Year award. Spurs back in action tonight in Sacramento to play the Kings. It's going to be De'Aaron Fox's first trip back to Sacktown since being traded to the Spurs in February.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on a Friday afternoon at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak. Come hang out with us. Start your weekend here with Half Price Happy Hour.
Absolutely. You got some fellas up here at the bar doing just that right now, enjoying some cold beer and some food. So, yeah, come on out and join us. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
Yeah, if you're at work right now, you're looking a little sick. You're looking a little peaked.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can see you right now.
Yeah.
A little peaked, kind of feverish. Tell the boss you're sick and leave work early.
Well, you can always do that. Or you'd be like that one guy over there. He's got his iPad out. He looks like he's doing some work or he's involved in one hell of a solitaire game.
Yeah,
one of the two.
Either way, he's doing well.
I mentioned, it's a dog-friendly place. Bring your pet 15% off on the patio. Josh Jimenez on our YouTube says, if I wear a Scooby-Doo costume, do I get 15% off my pizza? We'll say yes. Yeah, we'll do that.
Dude, I even said, you wear a Scooby-Doo costume, pal, I'll buy you a pizza. I'll buy you one.
Jimenez?
Yeah.
You got to do that.
Dude, I mean, get in the costume and get down here. It will be on me, my friend.
I don't know that Jimenez has the stones to actually do it. He's one that seems to talk a big game with no follow-through.
Well, it's not just that. He doesn't have a Scooby-Doo costume. He thought he was being funny, but it kind of, sometimes you're funny, sometimes you're not.
I don't know. He might. I mean, he could be like a Johnny Manziel. Maybe he pulled that off one time for Halloween and still has the Scooby-Doo costume in the closet.
Maybe. Hopefully so. I hope he shows up out here. And, hey, dude, it's worth a free pizza.
I mean, look, Ryan has already got a poll up on our YouTube page. Should Josh show up in his Scooby-Doo costume? It better be 100% yes in the next 10 minutes. And, Josh, we'll see you down here before 4.
Yeah, Josh. And if not, get out a magic marker and
no.
Do something, man.
It's got to be the full costume.
Ooh.
Let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions, never enough time.
Yesterday, Stephen A. Smith signed his new contract, 5 years, $100 million with ESPN. He was in Los Angeles courtside last night for that game, sitting with his agent and some other people. He's just sitting there enjoying the game with those nice courtside seats, and he gets confronted by LeBron James.
Apparently, I guess LeBron didn't like some things that Stephen A. was saying about his son, Bronny, and basically told him not to do that. And Stephen A. talking about it this morning on his show, and he said, he wasn't talking to me as a player. He was talking to me as a father.
Stephen A. did address, and I was watching First Take this morning live when he came on and addressed it. And obviously, I'd already seen the viral videos. I was curious to see what Stephen A. would say. I call a little BS when he said, I did not want to have to address this, but because it went viral, I have to. No, dude.
He's a showman.
He is. And this is on LeBron James. He's sounding like every other AAU dad. Don't talk about my kid. But as it's been pointed out by a gazillion people, wasn't it LeBron James that tweeted one time that these young players aren't very good, that Bronny is better than half the league as it already? I mean, LeBron has put a lot of pressure on his kid, forced the Lakers to draft him, and he's not living up to any of the hype. I get it as a dad, you want to protect your kid, but at the same time, LeBron, you put your...
Dude, I'm not sure what hype he was going to live up to. Guys, there was no hype coming in with Bronny James, for goodness sake. Look, LeBron got him in the league. I get it. He made the Lakers draft him. I get all of that. You know, you're doing LeBron a solid. But the guy hasn't earned it, and he shouldn't be playing in the NBA. He's not good enough. You know, he should be playing in the G League for a year or two or maybe more until he's ready, if he ever will be ready. Just because your last name is James and your father's LeBron doesn't mean that you're going to be a good basketball player. It certainly doesn't. And you had every advantage. Your dad got you in, but you haven't lived up to it. And you're not going to. And it's LeBron's fault if you can't bring him into the league and not have people criticize him. I mean, that's just dumb.
Well, and again, the tweet that's been going around was a LeBron James tweet where he said, man, Bronny definitely better than some of these cats I've been watching on League Pass today. Bad word, lightweight, hilarious. And so in a lot of ways, this is on LeBron. I get him, and that's what LeBron said. He didn't confront me as a NBA player. He confronted me as a dad. But Stephen A. also said he knows how to get a hold of me. And I find this kind of odd. If he wanted to talk, I'd have gotten a plane and gone to fly, and we could have had this conversation man to man. And credit Stephen A. In the moment, he didn't challenge LeBron and didn't cause a big scene. But ultimately, LeBron did that on his own, which probably makes things worse for Bronny.
There's no question about it. Now, you can't look. LeBron has faced, the swords. He's faced the criticism. Every player in the NBA faces criticism. You want your son in the league? He's going to face criticism. People are going to talk about him. They're going to criticize him. They're going to compliment him. It goes with the territory. So to call out and make a big scene during a Lakers game is just BS.
It really is. Now, speaking of ESPN, there's a report out today that ESPN will not carry the FanDuel Sports Network games on their future streaming platform that they're working on. There's been a lot of talk that could happen, but now it's looking like that won't happen. So, FanDuel, which was Bally's, which was Fox, which was, again, they'll figure something out, but what looked like was going to be an ESPN deal is now not going to be an ESPN deal.
I wonder what the problem is with those networks, with FanDuel. Not on YouTube TV either. It's not going to be on the ESPN streaming, and there are others that it's not. I wonder why. Is there a reason? Is it an inventory thing? Is it a cost thing? What is it? I mean, because that story, when I saw it this morning, kind of. I was like, why? I wonder what the reason is.
Well, the distribution share of dollars has got to be the biggest one. But, Suits will figure that out, just like all these other disputes that seem to happen. And, fans lose. But the way things are now, all right, it's not on YouTube. What service can I switch to that's going to give me the channels that I want? Devastating news for one Joe Reinagle today.
I'm telling you. Well, maybe. There might be a bright side to it.
Oh, yeah? What's the bright side?
Well, it could be. We found out today that the star of the LSU gymnastics team, Olivia Dunn, is not going to be able to perform anymore because she's got a broken knee. I mean, there's some medical terms from that, but technically she's a fractured knee. She can't compete. She's a senior, no more eligibility. So her gymnastics days are over.
A patellar avulsion fracture.
Yes, which is very sad not to see.
No, you were already you were
Dunn.
planning this whole gymnastics watch party.
What? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Party of one.
Yeah, party of one. Yeah, she does fly around nice. I mean, what can I say? But now we'll probably see more. I don't know, maybe pictures on the beach. Swanky.
So as long as her Instagram page is good, you're good.
She's not going away. We'll put it that way. So I once I was sad, but then Well, there is a bright side.
A guy who does need to go away, his name is Ryan Wedding. He's 43 years old. Now, this is a bizarre story that really seems like a bad Netflix series, but the FBI has added an ex-Olympic snowboarder to its 10 most wanted list. This dude is a Canadian snowboarder. He's been allegedly running a multinational drug trafficking network and orchestrating multiple murders related to the drug ring. There is a $10 million offer to capture this guy named Ryan Wedding. The quote from the FBI Los Angeles field office, quote, Wedding went from shredding powder on the slopes at the Olympics to distributing powdered cocaine on the streets of U.S. cities and his native Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hey, maybe that skiing didn't pay too well. He needed to get into something else. And he did, and he probably made a lot of money, but turned into a really bad dude. But if you're that guy, I mean, can you just disappear?
I mean, look, he's got fancy nicknames like El Jefe, Public Enemy, and James Conrad. I mean, like I said, this seems like a bad Netflix show.
It really does.
Is this NCIS Los Angeles or something quite like that, right? But apparently, charges from September in an indictment that alleged he and others arranged the shipment of some 60 tons of cocaine a year using long-haul semi-trucks to move the drugs between Colombia, Mexico, Southern California, and Canada. And apparently they've killed a whole bunch of people along the way that have tried to get in their way. So this snowboarder is now
on the lam.
On the lam. But my question, though,
$10 million.
How do you come up with the FBI top 10? Did we capture somebody and that had a slot and he moved up? Or do they sit down? Do they have like a selection committee that meets once a quarter to decide people's crimes and who is the new top 10? I mean, because have you heard recently, did we capture somebody that had an opening in the top 10 so you could move this guy up?
I have no clue. I don't know how they come up with this stuff.
Well, I want to know.
Well, I'd like to know, too. I mean, is there an FBI type person working or listening to us right now that could explain this? But I look at the FBI most wanted fugitives right now as I just pulled this thing up. And what's that dude's name? El Jefe?
I think they're all named El Jefe at some point if you make the list. Ryan Wedding, 43 years old. And while he was an Olympian.
There he is right there.
Is he? What number is he?
Ryan James Wedding.
Uh-huh.
It looks like, they don't list him, but he's on the top right after some dude named Omar Alexander Cardenas.
Oh, yeah.
So Cardenas looks like a bad hombre. And then you got Ryan James Wedding. After him is Francisco Javier Roman Bordales.
Well, he's a competitor. He's on the top 10 list, but while he didn't make the medal stand at the Olympics, could he at least make the top 3?
Well, right now he's a silver medalist.
On the
FBI's list.
So it's not alphabetical.
There's a lady on here, only lady on the top 10 list, and I'm not
Title IX. We got to be fair.
I'm not even going to try to say her name.
All right.
She looks sweet. I'm sure she's not, but she looks it.
She's on that list. She's not. This guy finished 24th in the parallel giant slalom at the 2002 Olympics. So he didn't even make the top 10 in the Olympics, but he's now made the FBI top 10 list.
Well, his future wasn't looking too bright in snowboarding. He had to find another career, and he did.
Stayed with the powder. Boom.
Nice.
Kellen Mond will join us coming up at 3:35 here on the Blitz. Tonight, De'Aaron Fox makes his return to Sacramento. We'll talk about that and hear from him. Coming up on the Blitz, live at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ready for the ultimate sports fan getaway? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is headed to Vegas, and we're bringing you along. Why? Because watching the games from your couch in sweatpants just isn't the same. Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for a Mega March weekend you'll never forget or possibly remember. We're talking Vegas here. March 27th through the 30th, we're hitting up Circa Las Vegas for opening day. And the second weekend of the tournament, a.k.a. Sports Heaven, baby. Thursday, March 27th, the party starts with baseball's opening day at the world's largest sports book. That's right, big screens, big games, and big opinions from Jason and Joe. It's basically like watching sports at home, but with no chores and way more pools. Speaking of pools, dive into 6 of them at Stadium Swim and catch all the action on a 143-foot screen. Log in now. Go to circalasvegas.com. Use promo code BLITZ and party with Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino. Sports, pools, Vegas. What could possibly go wrong?
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team: Southern Recipe Small Batch.
When it comes to great deals on tax prep, Jackson Hewitt isn't holding back, and neither is this commercial. Their offer is so big, it has to be said with Reverb, expert tax prep for $149 or less. It's a deal so spectacular, it needs a symphony, some explosions, and a clock ticking, because this offer $149 or less. And soon, one expert tax prep for $149 or less. Try Jackson Hewitt today and save. Whew. Limited time offer for new clients on Federal Returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rock's the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rock's has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rock's know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. UMGC keeps your educational goals attainable with no-cost digital materials replacing textbooks in most courses, reduced tuition rates for eligible service members and their families, and scholarships for those who qualify. Get started here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Hey, Rob Thompson here from my friends over at Prize Picks. The second half of the basketball season is here. The race to playoffs is on, and there's no better time to get Prize Picks because the money, it's heating up. 1,000 times your cash, Taco Tuesdays, and the way they pay. Let me tell you, Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your accounts. There's no better way to get started with Prize Picks than right now as basketball season ends. And here's the best thing about Prize Picks is you can combine different leagues. You got a favorite in the pros, you got a favorite in the college, you can put them together to really maximize your bets. And remember the code Alamo. Remember, you download that when you sign up today. There's money to be had. No better place than Prize Picks right now. As the basketball season winds down, go for the place to get the best cash with your favorite sports. That's Prize Picks. You know what you're doing. Go play. In fact, go run your game.
Wow! Most cars and trucks can get premium ceramic window film installed by the experts at Mother's Window Tint, starting at just $199. Don't wait. Protect your ride today. Our competitors charge hundreds more, but at Mother's, you get the best quality and value. Call now or visit motherswindowtint.com to schedule your installation. With up to 60 different film options, we've got the perfect fit for every car and budget. Stop by one of our locations and see the difference for yourself. Want to boost your vehicle's security? We've got you covered with advanced systems starting at just $399. Call 210-213-2118 today and ask about our alarm specials. Since 1984, we've been the home of the tint and alarm special. Don't wait. Visit Mother's Window Tint today. Call now or go online to book your service. Your car deserves it. Mother's Window Tint. Since 1984. Call or visit motherswindowtint.com. That's motherswindowtint.com. And remember, do it at Mother's and save.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
The Aggies play here. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Live today on this Friday at Mellow Mushroom at 1604. Near Stone Oak Parkway. Great spot to come hang out, enjoy half-price happy hour, get a good pizza, those pretzel and cheese bites.
There's all kinds of stuff out here, right? I mean, I see these guys here at the bar eating different things. Pizza's fantastic. That's what we had for lunch. But they got a lot of stuff here.
Well, they do. Great menu here. Lots to eat, lots to drink. And, they got all the TVs. We'll have the Spurs game on tonight, a little homecoming for one at De'Aaron Fox. Great read today from Michael C. Wright from ESPN.com on the trade itself and Fox wanting to leave Sacramento after they fired Mike Brown. So yesterday we were talking about potential candidates. I got to believe that Fox might want Mike Brown here, although Wemby will have a lot to say with that. But he said in that article, he'd been there. He'd gone through a number of coaches. He had one destination, and that was San Antonio. I know his wife is from here. He didn't mention that. He mentioned playing alongside Wemby is the number one factor that he had one destination when he told the Kings he wanted out.
Yeah, I don't know the Mike Brown thing, but he did say in that article he'd been with Sacramento for 8 years and had 5 coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, he just didn't want another one. I'm sure he liked Mike Brown just fine, but he just didn't want to play for another one. And that's when he decided that, the heck with this. I don't want another coach. I want another team. And San Antonio was his destination. I find it interesting, though, because I guess it was reported at that time that he had a list of destinations that he could choose from. And he says that wasn't true. That it was San Antonio all along, and that's the only place that he wanted to go. And the Kings made that happen. So I'm happy they did. And now De'Aaron Fox is a San Antonio Spur.
And, of course, tonight in Sacramento, Wemby, by the way, on the trip. So the medication he's on cleared through doctors that he could travel. So he is there. And, talking with Sacramento media earlier today, he was talking about what he wants Kings fans to know about his departure from their city.
I was raised here, I turned from a really young man to a young man that's raised in a family. And like I said, I appreciate the time that I had here. I had a lot of fun here. So it's definitely not something I take for granted.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, he likes Sacramento, and he says that in the piece, that he was fine there. He liked Sacramento. The town was great. The people were great. But it was the coaching. He didn't want to go to another coach and have to go through that. So that was the big difference. Otherwise, he claims in that article, Minix, he wanted to play for the same team his entire career.
And that wasn't going to happen. He wasn't going to sign. He had one destination. That was San Antonio. So is he expecting to get booed tonight by the Sacramento crowd?
I mean, I saw the boos, so it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's possible. And he did talk a little bit about the hardest thing about being traded.
The hardest part, moving. Yes, getting accustomed to a whole new organization, coaching staff, players, learning names. That's always the worst part for me. But I mean, having to pick up and move, halfway across the country is definitely the hardest part. But other than that, I mean, this is the business that we signed up for. So you understand that happens.
Not only that, moving across the country, but he didn't get to play at home. I mean, he was away from home for 2 weeks because the Spurs were in the middle of the rodeo road trip. So he finally got an opportunity to play in front of the home folks, and I know he's happy about that. But I think all Spurs fans are happy that De'Aaron Fox is now here in San Antonio.
And you start thinking about the future with this team, Wemby, Fox, Castle, Vassell, if he's certainly a part of it, which is debatable at this point. What they do this offseason is going to be interesting, but it seems like that good young core. And what could have happened this year had Wemby not had to deal with the blood clot? Would they have actually been able to propel themselves into the playoffs? Now we'll have to wait and see. What I find interesting in that piece by Michael Wright is the 5-game sample size, which isn't near enough, and what you expect from those two. A lot of improvement that needs to happen, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Wemby is on the road with them with what little he might be able to do in some sort of practice or shoot-around setting, just making sure that the connection between those two is rock solid.
Absolutely, and they'll get their opportunities. So that's the good news. Stephon Castle, the other foundation piece of this thing. I am going to be interested to see not only how they progress forward this season, but where the offseason takes this team and what improvements they make and what they do, because it's time, as far as I'm concerned, it's time to put this thing in fifth gear and race on down the road. It's time to get this thing going.
Absolutely. The UFL is about to get going with another season. They're in training camp right now. Former Reagan quarterback Kellen Mond should be the starting quarterback for the Brahmas. He will join us coming up next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. You need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, dress shirt, go see Sam. You think about the spring line and getting ready for that, T-shirt screen printed for your employees. Sam will get you taken care of for an event, family reunion, whatever you have coming up. If you need caps done, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom and all the popular cap brands in stock. He's got the Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices, and Sammy is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Call Sammy's Embroidery and Printing, 210-824-3900, or go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Looking for a place where strangers become friends over great drinks and food? Welcome to The Hangar, Petrenko, your go-to spot for mouthwatering wings, ice-cold cocktails, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Come taste some of the best wings in town, served by their friendly staff with even friendlier cocktails. With 20 big screen TVs for all your sports needs and a gorgeous patio to enjoy the great weather, The Hangar Petrenko has got you covered. Don't miss the official after party for the San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Tournament Monday, April 14th, only at Hangar Petrenko, where great food, drinks, and friends come together.
San Antonio, the NCAA 2025 Men's Final Four is coming April 4th through the 7th. Check out Reese's Men's Final Four Friday, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you can watch open practices and the Reese's NABC All-Star Game at the Alamo Dome for free. And for the music lovers, March Madness Music Festival, presented by AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, with 3 days of free concerts, featuring the biggest acts in music at Tower Park and Hemisphere. Visit ncaa.com/men's Final Four.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Welcome to The Hangar, Petrenko, your go-to spot for mouthwatering wings, ice-cold cocktails, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Come taste some of the best wings in town, served by their friendly staff with even friendlier cocktails. Only at Hangar Petrenko, where great food, drinks, and friends come together.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix, live at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak. Come start your Friday here. Happy hour, 3 to 6. Monday through Friday, half price.
Half price.
Everything at the bar. And I think about, where we are here at the Mellow Mushroom. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. I got to imagine at some point while at Reagan High School, Kellen Mond spent plenty of time over here and checking things out from Reagan to Texas A&M, the NFL, and now representing San Antonio with the Brahmas in the UFL. They're going through training camp right now, and Kellen Mond joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Kellen, how's your Friday, man?
It's going really well. Just getting done with practice, and we got another full padded practice tomorrow. So, the team is getting ready, and everybody's excited.
Well, that is good. Excited just to get the opportunity to play with the Brahmas, play in front of the San Antonio folks again, Kellen.
Yeah, it's extremely exciting, and my roots are in San Antonio, playing YMCA, middle school football at Bush, and then right into Reagan. And so, my roots are in San Antonio. I played games in the Alamo Dome, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the Dome again.
You know, Kellen, as we visit with Kellen Mond here on the Blitz, I've said many times with all the spring leagues, whether it was the Commanders back in the Alliance to having the Brahmas here in now, second season as part of the new UFL. For quarterbacks, you get an opportunity to get reps, all positions, but especially if you're a second or third string practice squad quarterback in the NFL, man, you need reps. And this league provides that. For you, I mean, you were with several teams in the NFL. The decision to, hey, man, let's go play at the UFL level because now you'll have the opportunity to get those reps. Is that kind of your goal for you? Come down here, play well, and get a chance to get back to the league?
Absolutely. I mean, 100%. I couldn't say it any better. A lot of times it gets a little hard when you're in the league and you're second or third string, and a lot of times your reps are running scout team and, you're running other teams' plays. So being able to come really in this league and you're able to play full games versus, preseason games, you may get a quarter or maybe 2 quarters at best. So coming here, being able to play full games, being able to execute on, end of half, end of game ball, certain situational football. I think that's what's most important, and I'm really excited to be with the guys.
Kellen, your NFL experience, obviously, I don't think went as you wanted it to, as planned. But what did you learn from your time in the NFL?
I mean, I've played with so many really good quarterbacks, and, even just starting off, having such a good quarterback room in Minnesota, you just learn to be a pro, learn how to learn playbooks and, really just learning how to operate as a pro and as a professional and as a businessman within the NFL. So, I've been with multiple different offenses. So I think coming into this league even, it's a lot easier adjustment than, maybe if you've been in one specific offense for a while. So I've had to adapt and, change my mindset on a lot of reads and just really kind of perfected being able to adapt to a lot of different situations.
Kellen Mond joining us here on the Blitz. I think about, your time with Jimbo there at Texas A&M and, you get into the NFL, you're drafted. You mentioned the different quarterback rooms, Vikings, Browns, Colts, Saints. What was, if you can go here, what quarterback do you think you learned the most from when you were in the NFL in those different quarterback rooms?
I mean, honestly, everyone presented their own style of how they prepared for games, and everyone was completely different, from Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson, Gardner Minshew, Jacoby Brissett. I really thought I took one of my biggest leaps, being able to sit behind and watch Jacoby Brissett, and really a guy who for a lot of years has been a backup, but to me, really starter capability. And so really understanding how can someone who is kind of looked at as a backup and being able to step into starter roles, and he played extremely well. I really admired the way he processed the game of football. He made things extremely simple, and he was really accurate. So, I've always appreciated what Jacoby did on the field.
Kellen, I'm curious because obviously Jason or I have never been in the NFL, but you're very successful college quarterback, high school obviously as well. Going into the NFL, was it more difficult than you ever imagined, or was it pretty much what you imagined?
I think situations and what team you're on is extremely important, and every single one is completely different. So if you're drafted into other situations, sometimes that can propel you even further. And so, I tell a lot of guys, a lot of times in the NFL players will tell you this as well, but a lot of times it's just based on situation and luck and really the timing you're in. So, I don't really necessarily look at my NFL career as some failure. I'm still playing football. I still have really good relationships within the NFL, but still need those reps. And, I look back at my high school days and, back when I was a freshman at Reagan, and even the beginning part of my Reagan career wasn't super clean. And I thought about quitting football and just going straight football and track. And I got my opportunity, and I ended up being one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Same thing happened in college when I started off my first game at UCLA, and then I ended up being one of the top quarterbacks in that class, ending, number 4 in the country. So there's always been some level of adversity that's always presented itself, and I've always found ways to kind of push through that.
Yeah, you certainly have. And I know I broadcast a bunch of your games when you were at Reagan High School. And, man, that I was thinking about that team. Boy, your senior year, if you'd not gone to the IMG Academy, what would have happened? But, you make those choices, you go, and now all of a sudden, you had to make another choice. And I imagine if you could take us through the decision-making process when it was, do I sign with the San Antonio Brahmas or do you try to get to another NFL team? What went through that process to say, you know what, I want to go play in this league as opposed to be a backup in the NFL?
It really just comes down to reps, and it's, do you wait to see if you get a call, and if you don't, then you just kind of sit and wait and you don't get reps, or you can come play in the UFL and it still doesn't mean that I can't get on an NFL training camp team and sign with an NFL and go and compete there. So, I think this could be really valuable for me where I'm able to really go into this season, play well, and then still be in that full stride as I head into an NFL training camp.
Kellen, what's your experience so far? It's limited, I understand, but you're so far with Wade Phillips.
Yep. So I've actually played with his son in Minnesota, who's the offensive coordinator. So, I've known about Wes Phillips and, Wade Phillips for years. But I think it's really good. I think he's probably one of the more well-respected people in the entire football world. And you see the way guys kind of gravitate towards him as a leader, and the defense is flying around. So he's definitely set a culture here, even though there's new guys joining, every single year. So, like I said, we just got started. We just put the pads on for the first day today. But I love what I see.
Well, and I know we have Wade on with us every week during the season on a Wednesday. We call it Wednesdays with Wade, and what he tells you, and then story time with Wade Phillips is always fun. Although being in training camp mode, I don't know how many stories he's telling, but I look at the kind of competitive team that the Brahmas were last year. Even the quarterback room that you're competing against right now in at training camp, but talk about the talent level on this team. I mean, for a guy that's been in, a handful of different NFL organizations throwing the NFL wide receivers, what's the talent level like for you right now with the San Antonio Brahmas?
I think the talent level is really good. And just from being in the NFL, and, we have a lot of NFL caliber guys on our team. The margin from, maybe an average NFL player to maybe someone in this league, a lot of times just depends on the situation you're in, like I was talking about before. So, in a few years, there's going to be guys who are maybe average NFL players and then come into the UFL to get reps the same way I am. So, we have a lot of guys who, me, Jared, Kevin Hogan, we've all been in NFL locker rooms. John Trey Kirkland, Greg Ward, Matthew Sexton, a lot of the receivers have been in NFL locker rooms as well. So, not just this team, this league is, getting a lot better, and the talent level is only going to continue to increase.
Kellen, I've got to ask you, because I know football is a business, and we were a little bit concerned here in San Antonio, and I guess all over the UFL cities, about a possible holdout or strike or something to that effect. Is that all put to bed? Is that all said and done?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's put to bed. It's honestly something that our Players Association is handling. And so, us as players, we're somewhat kept in the loop, but especially now, just with practice, I'm at the building at 6 and then we're done around 7. So really, we're not really hearing much. So a lot of that stuff is honestly just stuff we see online.
Is that one of those things? When you look at it, you're like, all right, man, as a union, you're going to follow and do what's best for everybody. But at the same time, you want to get reps and go play. Is it one of those, almost where you're in a tough spot when it's time to make a decision because, your goal is to be able to play and get reps and be getting a bunch of good game film to try to get back to the league, but the business side is the business side, whether it's the NFL or the UFL, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I definitely think there is a balance. And I think the UFL and the Players Association knows that. Obviously, everyone wants to play. Majority of guys are in this league to get reps, compete, and hopefully find their way onto an NFL team. But we also kind of understand the other side, where we do think that there could be an increase in pay, especially from last year. And just as a logical person and, maybe even an outsider speaking, I do think the UFL would benefit if the pay was a lot higher. And because I know a lot of NFL guys who are somewhat borderline guys, maybe practice squad, maybe they've been activated a few times, but they've thought about the UFL, but the pay is too low. And these are really, really good players. So I just think of it more as an investment. And as the league continues to get bigger, I think the more they're willing to pay players, the more of, NFL guys who maybe don't want to deal with the uncertainty of the NFL will come into this league and then go right into a training camp.
All right, Kellen, back to the business of playing football. How does it work? And just maybe it's a dumb question, but I'm going to ask you because I know NFL scouts, are they all over the place? They're maybe watching all of you guys practice or a bunch of them at games. How does that work that they see how you're doing and the reps you're getting are paying off?
I do not believe any are at practice. I know scouts and, player personnel guys, so they'll probably be watching film. But I do think the good thing about this league with, a lot of former NFL coaches or former NFL player personnel guys or scouts, there's a lot of good relationships. So a lot of times all it takes is a call to one of our general managers of the 8 teams or a Wade Phillips, who's, some of these guys are really credible sources. So even though they're not at practice, the NFL is able to get all the information that they need.
Absolutely. Kellen Mond joining us here on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, Kellen, I guess I've been watching you play since your sophomore year at Reagan, quarterbacking for Coach Hamilton over there, and to where you are now. Just listening to you talk, how different are you as a quarterback now than you were coming in, from graduating or leaving A&M, getting drafted to where you are now? I mean, what's the biggest difference you see in your game and in your life?
I mean, it's totally different. I think, from a skill set level, I'm more skilled, where I'm at 25, and, I've been removed from college for almost 5 years. But, my ability to process information, and I think one of the greatest assets that I've been able to have from being on multiple teams is having to learn a lot of playbooks and having to learn them quickly. So, it's a little bit different when you first hit the NFL and you're learning the playbook. I think once you kind of hit your stride, you kind of learn how to learn in the NFL. And so we see a lot of veterans. One I'm really close with, Josh Dobbs, who was on multiple teams in 1 year, and you're able to go in and you learn the playbook that first week. Where, when you first get into the NFL, you really can't do that in 1 week.
I mean, that's incredible, right? And the worst thing you just said, Kellen, I'll be honest with you, is you're 25 already. Yeah, because I remember covering you as well at Reagan High School, and it's like, you're 25, dude. Yeah, that's incredible to me, man. But, hey, I wish you all the best of luck. I mean, I know you're going to make the best out of this opportunity, and we hope to see you playing on Sunday again in the NFL.
I appreciate y'all. Yeah, the team is definitely excited. We're excited to get down to San Antonio. I definitely think it's going to be even better than last year in the Alamo Dome. So just know the entire team's excited.
Well, I know, and I don't know if you caught any games last year with the Brahmas, but fun atmosphere, great home crowd environment. Wade's obviously a lot of fun. And, even you go back to the Commander days in the Alliance, you can ask Greg Ward about this, although, he still fancies himself as a quarterback. But, the Alamo Dome gets rocking, for any pro football. So, it's going to be a lot of fun when you finally get that first home game, which isn't a couple of weeks into the season before you finally get a home game in the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, which I wish it was a little bit different, but you get the schedule and then you just go play the schedule. You can't really complain about it, but yeah, I definitely know we're going to be excited, and definitely can't wait to get back down. There's definitely a lot of memories in the Alamo Dome.
Absolutely. Kellen, appreciate you, man. I'm sure we'll talk to you again throughout the season. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Great talking to y'all.
Appreciate it. Kellen Mond on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. You think about Kellen, competing for that quarterback job. He's anticipated to be QB1, but there's some stiff competition for that. And knowing Wade Phillips, knowing the offensive staff that Wade has put together, he's got to go earn it.
He's got to go. He's used to that, right? He's used to doing that. And I know his time in the NFL was not what everybody had higher expectations. I know he had higher expectations, but he's a talented guy. He's a good thrower of the football, and he's a very intelligent young man. So I have no doubt that he's going to be great for the Brahmas, and really have no doubt that he'll be back with an NFL team shortly.
Well, and you look at, Greg Ward, who played in the alliance with the Commanders. His quarterback, Logan Woodside, still in the NFL. Yep. Greg Ward was with the Eagles for a number of years, played in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and, still wants to play football. Numbers games in Philadelphia. Where is he going to go? Back in, trying to get more tape for that opportunity to get to the NFL.
And look, I mean, we sit here and say, well, the NFL is this and should be playing here. There are only a limited number of people that play in the NFL.
Yep.
Right? I mean, and there are a lot of good football players that aren't playing in the NFL. So that's why these spring leagues are important and serve a huge purpose. As Kellen mentioned, as you mentioned, it's just an opportunity to get playing time, get reps, and to do all the things that you need to do to improve your game, where it is NFL ready, where you can go in there and compete for a starting job with an NFL team.
Well, and you think about just the numbers, and just off the top of my head, training camp, 90 guys go to every NFL training camp, right? You get 53 that make the active roster, then you get practice squad guys. So that's, 1,100 players that were in a camp, good enough to be in a camp, didn't make the team for whatever reason. Where are they going to go? I think 600 of them will end up in the UFL.
Yeah.
And they're all that close. And they all need reps, whether you're an offensive lineman or a quarterback or, a wide receiver. You look at a guy like Kevontae Turpin or Brandon Aubrey. It's amazing to think that, a guy like Brandon Aubrey kicked his way through. The guy from Detroit, in a spring league. Oh, that guy's pretty good. We should sign him.
Absolutely. And look, you're not going to get any better sitting at home, right? Or practicing on a practice field in high school. You're going to get better playing against good talent. And we saw last year with the Brahmas. That's good football in the Alamo Dome when the Brahmas are playing.
It is the Blitz. We are live at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak. Now, we talk about their pizza all the time. We had pizza for lunch. Greg ordered pizza, and we talk about all the different things on the menu. About 6 feet away from me, there's a lady at the bar, and she's ordered wings.
Those look fantastic.
Those wings look fantastic, along with the pretzel bites and the beer cheese. But those wings look fantastic.
You think
Dude over there's got a calzone.
You think she'd miss one if I just reached over and grabbed one?
I think she'll slap your hand. She's going to slap your hand.
They do look fantastic. Now, what's the other thing you're eating there?
Yeah, those are the
pretzel bites.
Yeah.
All right.
The honey sriracha wings.
All right.
They look fantastic.
They do.
Yeah, for you can't steal one of those.
What's that? The pretzel bites?
Yeah, or any of it. She's going to slap you.
I know it. She's guarding that food pretty.
And that cold beer that she's got, that bottle looks so cold, and it's half price.
It is half price.
Half price during happy hour. Come hang out with us here at Mellow Mushroom on 1604 near Stone Oak Parkway. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, because of course you do. Best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it, and you'll realize your best option is to call AA Best Bail Bonds, the best place to call for stress-free bail bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans available offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Nigel, what are you doing with all this stuff in the break room? It looks like a farmer's market in here.
I'm changing my eating habits, embracing good quality nutrition with fresh produce.
Folks, maintaining a healthy AC system is just like maintaining a healthy diet. Let's make sure your system is clean and efficient. Nigel, that's a pretty impressive healthy salad you've assembled.
Thanks, Joel. Now step back. The grease is hot.
Grease?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899. License number TACLA 141074E and 16004.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The American Athletic Conference approved an initiative today. It is called Minimum Investment Program. Schools are required to share with athletes in the new revenue-sharing era of college sports. Schools have to share at least $10 million in additional benefits over a 3-year period beginning in 25-26. Spurs back in action tonight in Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox's first trip back to Sacktown since being traded to the Spurs.
This SportsCenter update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. If you're watching on one of the many or listening on one of the many apps or online, sasportstar.com. Appreciate you tuning in on this Friday as we are live at the Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak.
And we're sitting here happily watching people enjoy half-price drinks.
Yes. Because it's they have half-price happy hour.
They do.
Yeah, half off all alcohol. They got $5 pretzel bites and $5 bruschetta during their happy hour, which is 7 days a week, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and 3 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday. Hard to beat that.
That's really hard to beat.
It's always good to come in here, Joe, to Mellow Mushroom, although I don't think that you should probably come on Tuesdays.
Why? What happens on Tuesdays?
They have a live trivia night.
Oh.
Yeah, so
I'm a pretty good trivia guy.
Only smart people are allowed to come on a Tuesday.
I've seen some dumb people play trivia before.
Well,
right?
That's why you come, so other teams can win.
You just watch Jeopardy. You ever feel like the dumbest person alive when you watch Jeopardy?
Yes.
I do. I watch that. I'm going, who the hell knows that?
Well, that's why they're on that show. Although sometimes there's questions and nobody gets, and you go, how the hell do they not know that? They're supposed to be smarter than the rest of us.
Yeah, unbelievable. I don't get it, but oh well. Yeah, I like trivia nights, though, as long as it's easy trivia.
Easy trivia.
Easy trivia.
Like what? What's easy trivia in your mind?
I don't know, cartoons.
Cartoons.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
you're good at cartoon trivia?
I know a little something about sports, depending on the sport. If it's football, baseball, basketball, maybe a little golf, but don't throw any hockey or soccer my way.
It's the hockey trade deadline today.
Is it really?
Yeah,
wow.
See?
Surprised we're not all over that.
Well, I again, like I said, I know what I work with here.
Yes, exactly.
Stars making some moves today.
Well, good.
That's the team in Dallas.
I know where the Stars are.
Okay.
I could probably, if you throw one out, I could probably tell you what city it's in.
Really?
Yeah.
The Flames.
Calgary.
Hey, very good.
See that?
Very good. The Sharks.
The Sharks?
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be a Florida team.
You think?
I don't know. Don't know who the Sharks are.
Tell me, what city do the Sharks play in?
I don't know. The Sharks.
You said
San Jose.
San Jose would be correct. Why are you getting help from Lindsay over here? What about the Panthers?
Lindsay didn't help me.
What about the Panthers?
Florida.
You said city. Florida's a state.
Oh, Tampa. Well, it's got to be Florida. Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
They're the Florida Panthers, though, aren't they?
They are the Florida Panthers. They play in Miami.
All right.
The Lightning.
Tampa Bay.
There you go.
See? Pretty good.
Yeah.
I just won this trivia contest.
Yeah. You mentioned Jacksonville. What team do they have?
The Jaguars.
Not a hockey team.
Oh,
barely
okay.
A football team.
Exactly. I don't know. I didn't know Jacksonville had a hockey team.
They don't.
Okay. Well, there you go.
The Kings.
Yeah, you're pretty. You got to be impressed. Right?
I'm sort of impressed.
Yeah, Los Angeles, the Kings.
Yeah, there you go.
I know that because of Wayne Gretzky.
What other city did Wayne Gretzky play in?
I don't know that.
The great one.
He's the great one, yeah, but I don't know what other city he played in.
He played in Edmonton. What is their mascot?
The Oilers.
There you go.
See that?
Look at you.
I'm telling you.
Look at you. What city do the New Jersey Devils play in?
Well, what city is in New Jersey? Trenton? I have no idea. That's why they call them the New Jersey Devils, because there is no city in New Jersey.
Well, there's lots of cities in New Jersey.
I know, but none that really matter.
Well, I mean, they used to play in the Meadowlands.
Right, okay.
Now they don't.
Yeah. Well, what city do they play in?
I don't know.
You see that?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, I feel very accomplished today.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Do you now?
You see that trivia? No problem.
Yeah. Now I'm seeing all the people that were helping you out on the YouTube chat.
Nobody was helping me out.
Oh, it looks like Gilbert and David Wayman.
Yeah, well, they were way behind me.
Were they way behind you?
And I didn't see Lindsay. I didn't see what she said. No.
Yeah.
It's all good.
All good.
Mm-hmm. I'm a professional sportscaster.
Are you now?
Well, I've been trying for about 30 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stealing money all the way through.
Damn right. Me and Ben Simmons, we're one of a kind.
Exactly.
Two of a kind.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. A weird story, and I say weird. I don't want to bring the room down on a Friday, but officials in New Mexico have revealed the cause of death for Gene Hackman and his wife, and some really bizarre details about their ending. I think we all know by now that they were both found dead and a dog found dead in their home. Well, it turns out, according to all the official reports, that his wife died a week before he died. Natural causes, something called hantavirus something. She was found in the bathroom with some pills. She was on the floor there. He was found on the floor in their mudroom, but he died a full week after she did, after they did all the testing. He also had heart disease and severe signs of Alzheimer's. So his pacemaker stopped recording. And so, and then all the other stuff that, she died a whole week before he did. So he was living in the house with her while she was dead.
That's a sad thing. And then the dog obviously died because it didn't eat.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're not, but I mean, all the talks about carbon monoxide, none of that.
None of that.
None of that. They're both being listed as natural causes, but when they saw it, they were wondering about some sort of foul play. Just really, really sad to think that, at 95 years old, didn't even know if he had severe Alzheimer's that his wife was dead in the other room.
He may not have. It's just it's a sad ending obviously for both of them. So, but I'm glad there was no foul play or, a tragic accident, something like that. So, and they were pretty secluded, right? I mean, so that was an issue. So,
well, and again, when you kind of, live your life as a bit of a recluse, it might be a while before you're found. I mean, I think about, like grumpy-ass Greg Shelton. I mean, it might be 2 weeks before anybody says, "Hey, has anybody seen Greg?"
Yeah, nobody would notice. It's like, wow.
We'd show up for a live broadcast and go, "Where the hell is he?" And then after Nick would come out and do it. And then after he missed the next one, you might say, well, somebody need to check on that guy.
Check on that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. His solitaire league would want to know where the hell he is.
Exactly. Although, I don't even know if they would miss him.
They may not.
I mean, we would miss Josie.
Yes. Yeah, that's why we'd have to figure that out, because we'd want to save her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd take good care of her.
Would you?
Sure.
You're going to adopt Josie when Greg goes?
I'd adopt Josie, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Crazy. Mark Cuban had some interesting things to say about the Luka trade. Charles Barkley goes off on Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick responds. Some NBA drama. Let's dive into it. Coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available for both residential and commercial needs. I know I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years. They do fantastic work and have for over 3 decades. And with Hill Electric, they have the right service for you at the right price. But get this, there is never a service charge, and they always offer free estimates. So it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. You need extra outlets or USB ports added in. You need some lights moved, any kind of adjustments made. Whatever that work is, whether it's at your home or at your office, call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. 404-9074, or go online, hill-electric.com.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
For decades, Rudy's has been serving Texans incredible barbecue. But they've also been a community champion as well. And now when you visit any of their 4 San Antonio locations, just make a $10 donation to the Puppy Food Bank. And you'll receive a certificate valid for $15 in free barbecue and 2 soft drinks. So do the numbers. That's a $22 value for just $10. You'll enjoy great barbecue for less, and Puppy Food Bank can save more pet lives. Thank you, Rudy's.
Being arrested is embarrassing, humiliating, and potentially life-changing. If you want to rewrite the script on the worst night of your life, then you're going to need a stable of aggressive and skilled attorneys. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, Attorneys at Law. We are here to get your life and reputation back. Visit TexasArrest.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. As a former major crimes prosecutor, I've seen almost every type of arrest scenario play out, from small degree drug accusations to death penalty capital murders. I've handled almost every type of case the state of Texas can charge you with. At Barton & Associates, we know how to flip the script and get your life back on track. Call us at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit us at TexasArrest.com. That's TexasArrest.com. Barton & Associates, we are here to get your life and reputation back.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. He's Jason Minix. He's Joe Reinagel. Yeah. I'm Jason Minix.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, however that works.
Yeah, one of those things.
Yeah, exactly. Trust me, I haven't had anything yet from Half Price Happy Hour.
Sure you haven't. I saw Lindsay sneaking you stuff over there.
It's pretzel bites.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Oh, but I'm about ready for some of those pretzel bites.
I tell you, man, all the food looks fantastic. We just sit here and watch people get served different things and the cold beer and the drinks, and it's just, man, Everybody's having fun on Friday. The only people missing are you.
Yeah, come hang out with
here.
us.
My goodness.
And it's, I mean, you think about this. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be in Las Vegas for Mega March weekend. We want you to join us in Vegas for that as well. Circa Las Vegas is where we're going to be broadcasting live on the 27th and 28th, a Thursday and Friday, which is the Sweet 16 round of the tournament and opening day of Major League Baseball. Book your room, save some money, use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com, or there's a link on our website, sasportstar.com. Mark Cuban last night sat down with WFAA television in Dallas, his first interview that he has done since the Mavericks traded away Luka. Of course, Mark Cuban is not the boss anymore. He sold his team, because he's on record as saying that he would have traded his wife before he would ever have traded Luka.
Right. Yep.
And he was asked about the trade and the fallout from the trade.
And I've said this before, if the Mavs are going to trade Luka, that's one thing. Just get a better deal. No disrespect to Anthony Davis, but get 3. If I still firmly believe if we had gotten 4 unprotected number ones and Anthony Davis and Max Christie, this would be a different conversation.
And he's right. I mean, and that's what everybody criticized him for. And again, Anthony Davis is kind of the piece that everybody look. Anthony Davis, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe that's a better deal. But Anthony Davis can't stay on the floor, and that's the problem. Great player when he plays. Problem is he's injured all the time. But they could have gotten a much better deal than what they got. And that's the issue, I think, with everybody, and Mav fans included.
Well, and they didn't go to the highest bidder. I mean, Nico Harrison worked the deal with his buddy Rob Pelinka in secrecy. So they could have gotten more, and that might have made it feel a little bit better. Cuban, when asked, would you have traded him? He didn't want to answer that. But he did remind us of a trade that he did make once upon a time that he took a lot of heat for. And he said, basically, what's hurting Dallas right now is a lack of open communication with the fan base.
Well, there was connection. We traded, I can still talk to Steve Nash. I mean, I went through this before when Steve Nash left and then won 2 MVPs. Yeah. Right. The good news is that we went to the finals and won a championship. So I've been through something, but there wasn't social media back then, so it wasn't quite the same. But yeah, I mean, you're going to make mistakes, and I think the biggest challenge that the Mavs have right now is there's nobody who's really outgoing to communicate, and it's not so much what you do; it's how you communicate why you do what you do.
Well, and Mark Cuban was the best at that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he really was. Whether you wanted to hear from him or not, he was going to be out there and telling you exactly what was going on and what was happening. And he's right. But a lot of teams, I mean, look, if the Spurs made a move like that, fans were upset. We wouldn't hear from them.
No.
They wouldn't come out and tell us why, because they don't do that. And the Mavericks in their current state are apparently not doing that either. So some teams are like that, some aren't, and it just depends on who's running the show. And Mark Cuban's not running it anymore.
He's not. When he did, they did have that open dialogue. Mark Cuban was, like Jerry Jones, often in front of the cameras. And I think just by what he just said there, he did call that a mistake. You're going to make mistakes. And this was a mistake because they could have gotten so much more for Luka, or be a little bit more transparent with the reasoning. Now, since the trade, the Lakers are playing damn good basketball. I mean, damn good basketball. And, it's interesting because that's led to some drama, because now you have to look at the Lakers as a legit team to go to the NBA Finals, maybe even win a championship, although I still think it's OKC and Boston playing in the finals. But that said, the Lakers are there. Kendrick Perkins said the other day that maybe this trade and going to the Lakers helped save the NBA. Well, that pissed off one Charles Barkley last night on TNT.
I saw a fool idiot on TV talking about the Lakers saved the NBA.
Save the NBA?
Yeah. He's an idiot and a fool, but he know he is. What's his name, Shaq? Which one you talking about? Kendrick Perkins. Oh, he said the Lakers. First of all, the Lakers have had a great 2 weeks. He said the Lakers saved the NBA season. That's because them fools on the other network, which we're gonna be working for next year. That's all they talk about. Let me tell y'all something. Tell me something. And first of all, I want all the smoke. I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard or anything like that.
I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard.
Right.
I like that.
Hey,
one.
man.
I'm stealing that one.
The Lakers are doing great. Got a long way to go. But the reason the season's been going great for the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Y'all just want to talk about the Warriors and the Lakers. They're both doing great. Don't get me wrong. If I turn out to be wrong, I got no problem with that. But y'all are idiots because y'all talk about the Lakers and the Warriors all the time. Y'all don't. The Cleveland Cavaliers have won 12 straight games. The Oklahoma City got the MVP, and they are on fire. Y'all are talking about who's in second place. That's the reason I get pissed. Hey, the Lakers are doing great. I don't mind being wrong. The Warriors are doing great. But that's because you fools on other networks, which we're going to become fools next year. We'll be working on that network. But Oklahoma City and the Cavs been balling for 6 months. Y'all talking about teams that had two great weeks.
Time out. I get what you're saying. You went at the whole network.
They talk about the same
the whole
stuff.
industry.
Whole industry. They talk about the same stuff every single day.
You know what? He's right. Well, he's absolutely right. I agree wholeheartedly with Charles Barkley there. ESPN, look, and they can't. I guess it's just not sexy enough. You don't want to talk about Cleveland or Oklahoma City, right? That's not sexy enough. They don't have the players. We had LeBron and Steph Curry and Luka Doncic now, and that's who we're going to talk about. I can't stand. I listen to some of these national radio shows, and it's almost like they're orgasmic, talking about how great the Lakers are now and how awesome they are and their championship. And they're going to this, and I want to puke in my car.
Well, and to a degree, I look at some of that, although I will say Bobby Marks tweeted out earlier a picture of him and Kendrick Perkins, and he says in here, and yes, we spent the first 10 minutes talking at Cleveland on Thursday. And, but to a degree, they talk a lot of Lakers on the TNT show as well. You understand there are teams that move the needle. Cowboys move the needle. That's why Stephen A. is going to start making $20 million a year because he talks a lot of Cowboys. You talk a lot of Lakers. Those national teams are there. And, with the way the Lakers have been playing since the trade, they deserve that kind of national talk. Plus, you get the Clinton and Friends on our station. He's based in L.A. Cowherd's based in L.A. And so that's kind of the local teams for them. That comes with the territory. But I don't know that Oklahoma City or Cleveland have been ignored the way Charles Barkley made it sound. But certainly a beef between him and Kendrick Perkins. And it will be interesting next year because of the licensing agreement that they reached with TNT losing the NBA. That show will be on ESPN and ABC next year. So that's why he's talking about they're going to be working with those idiot fools like Kendrick Perkins, who I've met Kendrick. That's not a guy you want to piss off. And his tweet last night had all that smoke.
Yeah. Yes, it did. Kendrick response was, and he sent this tweet to @NBA on TNT. He says, hey, @NBA on TNT, you might want to tell that senior citizen Charles Barkley that I'll be around. When he see an idiot or a fool in person, make sure he keep that same energy. He can come playing with me if he wants to, and I'm going to dress his ass like the numbers on a house. Straight from the 409 homeboy, and we bar none and fade all. #Texas boy. So there's quite the feud going on there. But I guess why it used to be the same way when San Antonio was playing well. Nobody talked San Antonio. They all want to talk the Lakers, Kobe and Shaq. They all want to talk about, and you heard Mark Cuban talk about Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns, and so on and so forth. And I guess that's why it irritates me so badly that the small market teams don't get the same love as the big market teams. It's been that way in the NBA for as long as I've been covering it.
It has. And again, I don't think really a lot of that is going to change. And, you look, like Oklahoma City, I think, goes to the NBA Finals. You're going to hear a lot of, whether it's from Charles Barkley or Stephen A. I don't want to have to spend a week in Oklahoma City when you could have a week in Los Angeles or, you and I didn't complain when we got to go during the finals to Miami, right? Because, there are cities you want to go to and cities you don't.
I had to go spend a week in Cleveland for one of those finals runs. And no, I wasn't excited about it. But you know what? I can't wait till Oklahoma City and Cleveland are in the NBA Finals. And then everybody can take that and suck on it, honestly. And I can't wait for it. I'm looking forward to that finals. You know what? It's going to be a damn good final series, too.
Well, it would be. I mean, and you think about where those teams are. Now, I still like Boston. I know you don't. And it's still early. Oklahoma City, can they make a run? Although, and I don't want to see the Lakers make a run, but watching the way they're playing right now, as much as I hate the Lakers, you've got to respect what you're seeing out of them. And they've got a legitimate chance at going to the NBA Finals the way they are playing right now. So, I mean, Zada, it's just weird. I almost wonder with Charles Barkley, is there something more to it with Kendrick Perkins that we don't know about?
I think it is.
Right?
Yeah, I think this has gone on for before, and they just might not like each other at all for whatever reason. I don't know of what that reason would be, but yeah, I think there's got to be a little feud that has been ongoing there for a while.
Absolutely. And, when you think about, basketball that matters this weekend here on our stations, we got the Lakers who have won 8 in a row. They take on Boston tomorrow night. You can listen to that game over on ESPN San Antonio, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Pregame at 7, tip at 7:30. Sunday here on 94.1. Oklahoma City taking on the Denver Nuggets. That one tips off at noon on Sunday here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you look at this, and he's right, Cleveland's won 12 in a row. That team's only lost 10 games, and that's incredible. 52-10. They are a machine. They play like a team. I love them. But bad news, Spurs fans. The Atlanta Hawks have moved from the 9th spot to the 8th spot in the East.
Yeah.
They've overtaken Orlando. So forget about Atlanta's lottery pick. It's not going to happen. Ain't happening.
Which is why San Antonio needs to ensure they're in the lottery by continuing to lose games. As much as I hate the idea of tanking, with no Wemby, you're not going anywhere in the playoffs anyway. Wemby won't get any playoff experience. Best thing that can come out of this season is for San Antonio to ensure that they're in the lottery, knowing that valuable unprotected pick from Atlanta, likely not a lottery pick, then you've got to do what you can to control your own destiny to the lottery. And they've got a big one tonight against Sacramento. And you think about, tonight's game interesting just because De'Aaron Fox will play his first game back in Sacramento since the trade. And, it's going to be interesting, although Wemby is on the trip.
He is on the trip, which is good because it's going to be a special night for De'Aaron Fox. The fans might boo him, but they love him. There's going to be a tribute for him there as well. But look, the way De'Aaron Fox was talking in that Michael C. Wright article, we talked about it earlier in the show. I know we're going to talk about it again. It would not surprise me that he's been playing to play for this game. It wouldn't surprise me to see him in the next few days, week or so, say, I'm done. I'm going to get surgery on that hand.
Well, and that's it. He's going to have off-season hand surgery. Do it sooner rather than later. Now, even if he waits till the summer, by all accounts, his recovery, he'll be ready to go for game one. But again, and we'll see, like Mark Cuban was saying about communicating with your fans, we know the Spurs don't verbally communicate, but their actions do speak loud. And so you should see them starting to shut some people down to ensure you're getting into the lottery, because we know the Spurs know how to play the lottery game. Unfortunately, over the last 5-6 years, we have learned that.
Yeah, we have. Unfortunately, you're exactly right. So I'm tired of seeing that. I want to see this thing kick into high gear and let's go. And I'm going to be extremely disappointed if the Spurs aren't extremely, not selectively, but extremely aggressive this offseason. I'm going to be really disappointed if they're not.
No, but we got a lot of time between now and then, and I do expect them to follow in the Oklahoma City plan. They were stashing picks, and Sam Presti was stashing picks, and they were making trades, and Oklahoma City fans are going, you got rid of who? You got rid of what? And when they got to that point, they got aggressive, and now they're a damn good basketball team. And I can't wait till we talk about the Spurs being, once again, a damn good basketball team where, you and I can't make any kind of vacation plans for May or June because we think we're going to be in the NBA Finals. I can't wait to get back to those days.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, too. I'm totally honest with you. I'm tired of this losing stuff and tanking and talking about lottery and that. Screw that. I want to see some playoff basketball that our San Antonio Spurs are involved in.
Although knowing De'Aaron Fox is in Sacramento tonight, I got to believe that they are going to try to win this one for him. You want a place to go watch that? Get into the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road, because there's no better place to go watch any big game, any big fight than the Rue there at 281 and Redland, with those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. And when you go to the Rue, go hungry. The food is fantastic. And make sure you're planning now on for St. Patrick's Day to be at the Rue Pub, because their St. Patrick's Day parties are legendary, and this year it's going to be a 2-day event. Sunday, March 16th at the Rue Pub, they're having a crawfish boil, all you can eat for $10 from 2 o'clock until they run out. Live music from 4 to 7 on Sunday afternoon, but all you can eat crawfish for $10 at the Rue Pub on Sunday, March 16th. Then on St. Patrick's Day Monday, the Blitz is going to be live out there. The green beer is going to be flowing. Live music starting at 2 o'clock with a band called Irish Goodbye. Then Finding Friday takes that outdoor stage at 5 o'clock. They'll have DJs inside both the Rue Pub and Angry Elephant that night. So plan now for St. Patrick's Day at the Rue Pub. No better place to go for St. Patrick's Day. No better place to go for lunch, for dinner, late at night, and to watch any big game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant, the Rue Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Rue.
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rock's the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rock's has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rock's know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
Hey, Rob Thompson here from my friends over at Prize Picks. The second half of the basketball season is here. The race to playoffs is on, and there's no better time to get Prize Picks because the money, it's heating up. 1,000 times your cash, Taco Tuesdays, and the way they pay. Let me tell you, Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your accounts. There's no better way to get started with Prize Picks than right now as basketball season ends. And here's the best thing about Prize Picks is you can combine different leagues. You got a favorite in the pros, you got a favorite in the college, you can put them together to really maximize your bets. And remember the code ALAMO. Remember, you download that when you sign up today. There's money to be had. No better place than Prize Picks right now. As the basketball season winds down, go for the place to get the best cash with your favorite sports. That's Prize Picks. You know what you're doing. Go play. In fact, go run your game.
With basketball season in full swing, make watching the game a little bit more exciting with your chance to win money with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps, and you can play in Texas. You can win up to 1,000 times your money with Underdog, playing the pick'em game where you pick higher or lower on predicted stats. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right on your pick'em entry, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Yep, turn $1 into 1,000 with your hoops knowledge. Download the Underdog app and sign up using my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to residing the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Wow! Most cars and trucks can get premium ceramic window film installed by the experts at Mother's Window Tint, starting at just $199. Don't wait! Protect your ride today. Our competitors charge hundreds more, but at Mother's, you get the best quality and value. Call now or visit motherswindowtint.com to schedule your installation. With up to 60 different film options, we've got the perfect fit for every car and budget. Stop by one of our locations and see the difference for yourself. Want to boost your vehicle's security? We've got you covered with advanced systems starting at just $399. Call 210-213-2118 today and ask about our alarm specials. Since 1984, we've been the home of the tint and alarm special. Don't wait. Visit Mother's Window Tint today. Call now or go online to book your service. Your car deserves it. Mother's Window Tint since 1984. Call or visit motherswindowtint.com. That's motherswindowtint.com. And remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Start your wellness journey with the YMCA. Join any Monday in March and enjoy no joining fees. Get a sneak peek of what the Y has to offer as their guest on Monday, March 17th. Don't miss out. No join fees any Monday in March. Join the YMCA today and save towards your wellness journey.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, April 14th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Pan American Golf Association, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Ensira.com and PPL Motorhomes. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, April 14th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com. Swing it!
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. A Friday afternoon at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak on the 1604 access road right before Stone Oak Parkway. Come hang out with us here on a Friday. Pull up a chair at the bar.
Yeah, you need to. There might be one open seat over there.
You can get a booth near the bar.
There's a booth near the bar. There's lots of seating here. It doesn't matter where you're sitting. It's half price happy hour.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter. You can still get a drink. You don't have to be sitting at the bar. Come on out and start your Friday with us.
Well, and you think about, everything that's going on this month. Final Four is coming to San Antonio. They've got a special on their margaritas here. The Mellow Mushroom Margarita Madness, $5.55.
Wow.
Today through April 7th for your margaritas.
That's a hell of a deal.
That is a hell of a deal. They do the live trivia on Tuesdays. The pizzas are fantastic. The wings look good earlier today, too, and those
no kidding.
pretzel bites are only $5 during happy hour.
Woo-wee. $5.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a deal.
For most of us, we're looking at, a Friday to go into a relaxing weekend. If you're an NFL agent or a front office type, it's a working weekend because Monday, starting at 11 a.m. our time, the free agent frenzy begins, the legal tampering period. I know the NFL's got a word for it, but you can come up with agreements. You can negotiate deals. They just can't be finalized until Wednesday. But the news is going to be fast and furious on Monday during the Blitz.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I don't know. Lee Steinberg the other day had an article that said he expects a lot of action during this particular free agency period. So I am as well, and I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, Jerry was just not being honest yesterday when he said that free agency was not part of the plan, that maybe they will get involved and do something.
They've cleared too much money. When you think about the Cowboys, will they have a deal done in the next couple of days with Micah Parsons? And if they do, the urgency for them to be able to do shopping in free agency is going to be obvious. If they don't, then the Joneses will have the built-in line from last year that our hands are tied financially because we know we're saving all this room for Micah. Last year it was we're trying to get deals done with Dak and CD, and they waited. And they eventually got those deals done, but so late in the process, what cap space got freed up, they couldn't go spend. So if a deal with Micah gets done soon, over the weekend, Monday, Tuesday, whatever it might be, in the next 10 minutes, you never know. As Steven says, they come together. Reading about Max Crosby's deal, they were far apart, and then boom, it came together quickly. So it can happen. And, Max Crosby is one that you could look at and say, all right, there's some new frameworks with some floors. I think we all have an idea of where Micah Parsons is going to be, guaranteed money, years, other little deals, incentives, all that, the little stuff that needs to get worked out that doesn't seem all that complicated if both sides are urgent in getting a deal done. And that becomes the question. As much as Micah talks about not needing this or not needing that, when the paper's in front of him, will he sign it, or is he going to play a little bit harder ball than what maybe he is led on to believe?
I just wonder, a lot of things will play into that, right? I mean, we just saw, what happened with Crosby. He's now the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. I know Jamar Chase is looking to become that guy, the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, and I think that he will be. So, and then you've got others out there, right? Trey Hendrickson, what's going to happen with him? So I don't know. I mean, we all want to blame Jerry and say, hey, it's Jerry. It's Jerry. Come on, Jerry, let's get this done. When it could very well be Micah and his side saying, well, we're in no hurry. We're under contract. We're good. Let's see what happens with some of these other guys. And so I don't know whose fault it is or who's holding up the deal or what the case is, but it's not always Jerry Jones's fault.
Well, and Jerry has pointed out in front of Dak, in front of CD, that it does take two. And so that, I mean, but again, though, if the offer is right, the player is going to sign it. If the offer is way too low, or they feel like it's way too low, then I don't know. Like I said, I think urgency from both sides is going to come into play here. The Cowboys have cleared a lot of cap room in the last week. That indicates, despite what Jerry Jones said, that they will go do some business during free agency. Now, do I expect them to go get one of the top free agents and, on Wednesday, some ridiculous deal for a player that, isn't homegrown talent? No, because I don't know that the Cowboys, one, are capable of doing business that way, just especially with Micah's deal out there. But some of these guys that you expect to be later in the week or, other things that we've seen them do, that could be in play. And then there's deals that you don't want them to make. Michael Gallup apparently coming out of retirement. He wants to go play again. And that guy was never the same after his injury.
Nope.
I wouldn't entertain that to save my life. Amari Cooper, I wouldn't try to bring him back. But are there wide receivers out there that could fill the spot? Absolutely. Are there, an offensive lineman, a running back, a defensive player that could help in free agency? And that frees up your ability to draft, not for need, but best player available.
Yeah, I would love to see them go pick up a veteran offensive lineman, especially to fill that spot vacated by Zach Martin. I would like to see that. That, for me, would be great. Or a defensive lineman, to bring a veteran in there instead of relying on a rookie who, look, I don't care how good the rookie is. It's going to take a curve. Not everybody can come in and play NFL football right away. It's tough. So Jerry said the other day, he was very clear that being aggressive in free agency is probably not going to happen. I think he was asked the question, what is selectively aggressive, or are you going to be aggressive? And he said that probably wasn't the case. So the Cowboys think that they can draft and plug these guys in and it's going to be okay. It just 9 times out of 10, it's not.
Well, and again, you look at, and they've got 10 draft picks. They don't have the room on the roster to have 10 new guys from the draft class. And to think that all of them are going to make the team and make an impact, we're all smarter than that. So you look at the Jerry's words, lying season, he's going to have to do something. But I do think if Micah Parsons has a deal by early next week, then yeah, they're probably going to be players in free agency. If not, you're going to see, veteran guys, 1-year deals, low money. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. And with those 10 picks, maybe they work a trade. It seems like the Joneses would rather make a trade like they did for a Brandon Cooks, like they did for a Gilmore, because they don't want the competition. And they've got enough draft picks where they could be able to pull a deal like that off. Very similar to what Nick Caserio did this week in getting Christian Kirk from Jacksonville. Dude, I don't want to compete for you. I'm not going to get into a bidding war for you. Have a 7th-round pick next year, Jacksonville, and send us your guy that you're going to release anyway.
Exactly. It worked. And he's done that twice. He did the same thing with Joe Mixon with the Cincinnati Bengals, and that worked out pretty well for him. So that's the kind of aggressiveness that you want from a general manager. And I'll give Nick Caserio all the credit in the world because he takes his shots. He does, and he's smart about it. And I wish the Cowboys would do more of that. I really do. Because, again, 10 draft picks, you said it, you're not going to be able to draft all of those guys and keep them all. And you're lucky even if you did, and you hope, 4 or 5 of those guys are quality players. Just the odds are against you in that respect. I would rather see them go out, whether it's through a trade and get rid of some of these draft picks or a free agent period and get some veteran players in here that can help this team and help them from day one.
Well, and you look at, as you mentioned, Nick Caserio and the Texans, they're going to release Shaq Mason. Now, that guy was awful last year.
Yeah, he was awful.
And no surprise that he's getting fired. And sad part is somebody will pick him up because you need depth. You need players.
Yeah.
He can go somewhere and not be a starter and maybe improve his game, but he did allow 10.5 sacks last year. So you look at the Texans, they need to find 2 new starting offensive linemen. Do you expect the Texans to do that in the draft, or are they going to be shopping for a free agent offensive lineman early next week?
I think they're going to be shopping for at least one of those guys that they need. Yeah, they may draft the other one, but I think one of them will be a free agent. I think they'll be players in that respect. Again, look, the Cowboys are not typically free agent players, but Jerry's got to know. And even as hard-headed as he can be sometimes with this whole draft and develop thing, he's got to know this team needs – there's some holes that have to be filled, and I just think they would be better filled with a veteran player that's already got some experience in this league than a guy that's just coming in and getting his feet wet. So, I hope they're aggressive, and I hope we have something to talk about at some point in time next week.
Well, we will, whether it's Cowboys or Texans or does DK Metcalf find a trade partner? Devontae Adams, where does he land? Both, a lot of arrows pointing towards the Chargers. You think about Ladd McConkey and one of those 2 guys on the other side in Harbaugh's system. That could be interesting.
Yep.
And so when you look at Houston, the idea that, trying to win with CJ on a rookie deal, you expect the Chargers are going to get better. You still have the Ravens. You still have the Chiefs. You still have the Bills. It's going to be interesting to see in the AFC. So I do expect the Houston Texans to be aggressive because, man, there's seemingly so many more better teams on the AFC side. On the NFC side, you look at the NFC East and you go, okay, we got to deal with these teams and the teams in the NFC North. So, I mean, the competition to just get into the playoffs and then fight through, it's just a harder road right now in the AFC than it is in the NFC.
It is, but it's getting a little more difficult than the NFC, and the Cowboys have got to keep up just in their own division. They got to keep up because Washington and Philly aren't going anywhere, and they're going to be good, both of those teams, and the Cowboys have to keep up with those guys. And I just drafting, developing. I mean, I won't say it, but it's been 3 decades.
Yeah,
that philosophy hasn't worked.
No, I mean it hasn't. Now, granted, I mean they've had some rosters where you thought they legitimately had a chance and they came up short, but at the same time, and Jerry did admit this week, he got a lot of things wrong last year. He didn't say it in that many words, but you kind of knew what he meant. There were a lot of surprises for him last year, coming off the roster he had the year before. So it's going to be interesting. And I think one of the bigger questions on Monday for NFL free agency is Sam Darnold. Where does he end up going? Does he re-sign with Minnesota, or does another team throw a boatload of money at him? And how many years is he going to get?
Well, that's it. And he there's a list of the 5 worst free agents. ESPN has a list of those guys, and Sam Darnold is number 1. And you got to wonder, and the only thing I can think of is nobody thinks he can. That maybe last year was a fluke, right? I mean, and because he didn't play well towards the end of the season, he wasn't very good at all. So maybe that's part of it, and the other part of it is the money he's going to command. I mean, you're looking at at least $40 million maybe per year for a Sam Darnold if you grab him. I mean, I would think he's going to command at least that. Baker Mayfield's doing 35? So you figure a Darnold right around $40 million. That may be the reason for that. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
If you're Sam Darnold, if you're the Vikings, they chose not to franchise tag him. So is that an indication that maybe the market for Sam Darnold isn't what Sam Darnold thinks it's going to be? But if you're Sam Darnold, do you sign a 1-year deal with Minnesota knowing that they want to go to J.J. McCarthy? Or do you take the one good year that you had and try to get a 4-year deal out of another team? Because what is there? 8-10 teams trying to figure out who's going to be their quarterback?
Yeah.
So, while you might like Minnesota and you might like the system you're in, you're not the future. They really like that J.J. McCarthy, and as soon as he's ready, he's going to get the keys to the car. So 1-year deal to stay comfortable, or maybe Minnesota, I'll stay a little bit cheaper, but if I'm having to move, it's going to cost you more in more years.
Yeah, Minnesota's got a dilemma there. They really do, because they don't know what they have in McCarthy. They liked him, but then he got hurt and he never played. So you don't really know what you have there. Can you take a chance of rolling him out day one, or would you feel better if you have that security blanket in Sam Darnold for another year, 2 or 3, whatever the case may be? It's going to be interesting to see what happens there, because Minnesota's that's a dilemma for them.
It really is going to be interesting to see. Monday is going to be a lot of fun with free agent frenzy. Big news today coming out of the American Athletic Conference. They have set a minimum, a floor, if you will, that schools in the American are going to have to spend on NIL. So Lisa Campos and UTSA, they know at the very least what they have to share with student athletes. We'll go into the details coming up here on The Blitz, live at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Do you ever scroll through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, comments, people in their hot takes, people in their picture-perfect families, or another humbling professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you would feel if you just spent 45 minutes focused on how you are doing. That's why you need to know about Cerebral. Go to their website, Cerebral.com. They make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication that is personalized to you. And they offer in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. You have to make time for your mental health. Sometimes you just got to talk to somebody. Maybe you're going through a life transition. You're dealing with stress, anxiety, having trouble in a relationship. With Cerebral, they make it very accessible, and they work with a lot of insurance plans, whether you need therapy, psychiatric care, or both, and you get to do this from the comfort of your own home. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs, and like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral is here to help you build a strong foundation for your overall well-being. Take the first step today. Go to Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for Mind Time.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Is that a new Samsung Galaxy A15 5G?
Yeah, I got it for free when I joined Cricket Nation.
Sounds pretty great.
At Cricket, anyone can get a new phone when they switch.
Whoa.
With a high-quality camera, meaning more flattering selfies for all, and super fast 5G, so you can post them for all to see. Your friends, your family, your ex. Free phone! Free phone!
Okay, I'll switch.
Welcome to Cricket Nation.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must bring your number to Cricket on a $60 a month voice plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. These terms and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
With conference championships just around the corner, now's the time to register for Twin Peaks $1 Million Bracket Challenge. Go sign up at TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com and fill out your bracket before the tournament tips on March the 20th. Enter for a chance to win $2 million and other epic prizes, including $50 gift cards to the top bracket from every Twin Peaks lodge. Step up your game at Twin Peaks with 29-degree cold beer, handcrafted cocktails, and scratch kitchen-made food to satisfy your every craving. Only at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and all those scenic views.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Congratulations to the UTSA women's basketball team. They cleaned up in the AAC Awards. Their head coach, Karen Ashton, has been named Coach of the Year. Redshirt senior Jordan Jenkins is the Player of the Year. And Nina De Leon Negron captured the Newcomer of the Year award. Spurs back at it tonight. In fact, it's a homecoming for De'Aaron Fox. First trip back to Sacramento since being traded to the Spurs. Tip-off, 9 o'clock.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm G. Simonix, live out at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak on the 1604 Access Road right before Stone Oak Parkway. Here for another hour, and then we get to begin our Friday happy hour.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm looking forward to that. That's no doubt. I'm sitting here watching Lindsay make a drink. I don't know what she's making, but that's quite the concoction down there. I'm going to tell you what, it looks fantastic. But she can make you anything.
Yeah.
I've been watching her all day, and she's like, she can make any kind of drink that you can think of. And it's half price.
Well, I'm looking at that thinking that she's making some sangria over there. But
maybe that's it.
That's just me.
Wow.
You can order one of those.
In an hour.
In an hour.
I know.
I mean, well, you got to order it now.
Well, I'm going to order it about 5:55.
Yeah.
So I can slide into happy hour.
Because happy hour goes through 6. It is half price happy hour. So, and they do happy hour every day of the week, 3 to 6 Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 Saturday and Sunday, half off all alcohol, and $5 pretzel bites and $5 bruschetta during their happy hour, which is fantastic. Those pretzel bites are great. And in the month of March, their margaritas, the Mellow Mushroom Margarita Madness is here, $5.55 for a margarita through April 7th. And, one of the guys sitting at the bar that came in to say hi, he's already booked his trip to join us for a Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas. Apparently his brother's turning 50. Wow. This dude said he hasn't gone to Vegas in 30 years.
I think I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I wasn't in Vegas for 30 years.
You don't know what to do with 30 days.
That's what I'm saying. If I miss 30 days, I'm shaking over here.
He hasn't been to Vegas in 30 days. It's going to blow his mind. I mean, listening to him talk, it felt like my mother was talking to me about her last trip to Vegas.
Man, I tell you what, he's going to be very surprised when he sees how that city has exploded.
Does he not know the Imperial Palace no longer exists?
No longer exists there. No,
the Mirage is gone.
Yeah, it's gone too. So the Tropicana, it's gone.
Oh, and we'll be downtown at Circa Las Vegas, and the whole Fremont experience.
Oh my
is going to blow his mind.
It's going to blow his mind, no doubt. We're going to show him a good time, and anybody else that wants to come along with us, it's a blast. It's hard to describe. You got to be there, and that's why so many people that have been before are going back.
Absolutely. Don't have FOMO. Book your trip now. Book your flights, get your room, circalasvegas.com, promo code Blitz. You're going to save a lot of money there. If you go to sasportstar.com, there is a link when we're out there the 27th and 28th working. And then, of course, we'll stick around for the weekend out there through the 30th, Sunday the 30th, which is going to be fantastic. Join us out there. And, whether it's your brother celebrating a 50th birthday, if it's been 30 years since you've been, but this has made you decide to go, whatever the case is. And this guy hadn't been to Vegas in 30 years, which is probably why he said his wife has said, you go without me. Because I'm guessing she hasn't been in 30 years either.
Well, I tell you what, we may have to watch this guy. He'll get out to Vegas as soon as he gets off the plane. It's going to be, he's going to go nuts.
See, what's going to happen is your wife and my wife will make sure they don't do anything stupid. Which is why we're not allowed to go without our wives.
My wife's not going to give it. She's going to be on a slot machine somewhere.
Well, that's it. They won't even notice.
Yes.
Exactly. It's kind of the way it rolls.
I'm happy he's going, and I hope all of you go as well.
CircaLasVegas.com, promo code Blitz. Mega March weekend is going to be a blast. Big news today out of the American Athletic Conference, where their commissioner, Tim Pernetti, announced that they have set minimums that member schools have to share with their student athletes. So we know that court case is coming up, and the revenue share is going to come in play. Everybody is preparing for this to actually happen. When it actually does, we'll see, but we know it's going to happen. Everybody is prepared for it. Now, the max is like $20.5 million per year. Outside of the power conferences, nobody's going to be able to do that. So what is UTSA going to do? What are teams in the American going to do? Now, we've heard numbers for football only, $3.5–4 million. But, nobody really knows. We know, like, Memphis has a lot of FedEx money, and other schools have those big donors where they're helping to fund. But the American has said, you know what, at the very least, you've got over a 3-year period have to spend $10 million sharing with your athletes.
And that's genius as far as I'm concerned. First conference to do that, by the way.
Yep.
And I think Pernetti is a genius for bringing this up. Now, it passed today, but it wasn't unanimous.
Yep.
Which you wonder who were the no votes on this, but I think it's genius. Look, he has basically said our conference is the 5th best in his mind, and I tend to agree with him. You got your Power 4 conferences, and you've got the AAC. And I think the competition there, when you look at all the teams that are involved, it is solid, and it is a difficult Saturday each and every Saturday for all of these teams. And so I think Renee said, look, you want to join, you want to come up to the big leagues, you want to come up to this style of football and athletics, then you're going to have to pay the price and make sure that the competition continues to be what we want it to be. So I think this is genius.
And with the presidents on board, although, again, not unanimous, if you want to play in the American, you're going to have to pony up at this. And at least you know what the floor is. And I hope that UTSA is nowhere near the floor. If you were to do simple math, and they could break this up over the 3 years however you want, as long as you have spent $10 million by the 27-28 academic year. But let's say if we do 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, right? We know in 3 years the cost of doing business in athletics is going to go up. So I don't know how you go. Do you go 1 or 2 this year and then 4, like 2, 4, 4, or something like that? But again, this is the minimum, and your goal shouldn't be making a minimum payment. To me, the minimum here is like I'm going to go all Jerry Jones in your credit card bill. You ain't getting anywhere if you're making a minimum payment on your Visa card, right? And so if you want to be competitive and have a winner, at least you know what the minimum is in the league, but minimums don't get it done.
Look, if you are, and I'm just going to use UTSA as an example, if you're Lisa Campos, if you're President Amy, you have hired a football coach, and we're just talking football, I'm not talking the rest. You've hired a football coach who has been very successful. If he comes to you and says, y'all, to keep this program successful, I need X, then he needs to get X. You need to do everything in your power to get Jeff Traylor everything that he needs to make this program successful. And I just don't see an argument there. I don't see anybody going back at him and say, well, no. If he says he needs this, because, look, Coach Traylor's a reasonable guy. He knows where he's at, and he knows the financial stipulations and all of that. But if he says to put a competitive program on the field that can win this conference, I need X, then he needs to get X.
Well, and whether it's through the couple of NIL arms that UTSA appears to be keeping, or through Playfly Max, which they just hired a new general manager for, and that's to go raise money for NIL. It's on Lisa Campos to go raise money, and if they're a little bit short, is President Amy going to figure out from the university funds to make sure that athletics has what they need? Does Jeff Traylor have what he needs? Dr. Amy talks a good game, but now he's got to put his money where his mouth is. Now, Lisa Campos, Playfly Max, they've got to go raise that money because, most people don't have that much money just laying around. Well, what are we going to do with this? So you've got to go find it. You've got to go turn over those rocks, and that's the day and age in college football. And I'm impressed to see this number from Tim Pernetti, because early on it was like, well, there will be minimums. Is it $1 million? Is it $2 million per year? At least there's some flexibility here with the universities that, all right, you don't have to do X this year. You've got 3 years to be able to spend X, because they've got to be able to go raise it. I like that. By the way, Army and Navy are excluded from this for obvious reasons, being a part of the American. And Tim Pernetti said, if you have failed to do this by the end of the 27-28 year, your status will be in review as far as staying in the conference. And I think if you're a university that doesn't give a damn about sports or your football program, then there are other conferences that'll probably be glad to have you. But if you want to play in the American, which couches itself as the best non-power conference out there, there is a price to play in the league.
Unfortunately, that's the way that it is. And look, 3 years from now, maybe we've got more guidelines. Maybe there's a different system in place that's more a salary cap type system, a pro system. Who knows? But this is a great start. And I think at least if you're a university administrator, an athletic director, whatever the case may be, you know what you have now. You've got a target. And you would think they were working on a target or a goal or a plan, and hopefully they have. But now you know what you've got to do and where you've got to get to.
And again, they're the first conference to put any kind of minimums out there. So I like it. So
yes.
At the very least, as a fan, where the floor is. And again, minimums don't ever get it done, but it also tells you how much they're projecting it to cost to be able to share revenue with their student athletes.
Seems simple to me, Jason. Jeff Traylor says he needs X, you get him X.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You find a way and you get it done. I mean, I don't see it seems pretty simple to me.
And I do look at, I know nobody gets a blank check. And Jeff Traylor certainly isn't getting a blank check. But I think we all know Jeff Traylor well enough that he's going to try to recruit a player that wants to be here, but that player is going to want to get paid. And we've heard too many stories about guys, and he's mentioned current quarterback Owen McCown, relationships. And, Owen comes from, his dad played in the NFL for 1,000 years. But he's giving them a hell of a discount to play, but you can't count on that all the time. And, and Jeff Traylor will know, okay, I've got an idea for what this guy's going to cost, and he's a guy that we should be able to go get. Is he going to get into a money battle with Texas or Alabama or Texas A&M? No.
Can't do it.
So, blank check, no. Jeff Traylor, I don't think would even ask for that, but within reason, if this is what he thinks it's going to take for those kind of players, and just go back to what G.J. Kinney said at the bowl game. What was 5,000 last year is 50,000 this year.
And it's only going to go up until somebody does something about it.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star live out at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak. 1604 Access Road right by Stone Oak Parkway. As we continue here, we'll visit with John Machota from The Athletic. He's got a new mock draft out today. His thoughts on what he thinks the Cowboys will do at the draft coming up next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ready for the ultimate sports fan getaway? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is headed to Vegas, and we're bringing you along. Why? Because watching the games from your couch in sweatpants just isn't the same. Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for a Mega March weekend you'll never forget or possibly remember. We're talking Vegas here. March 27th through the 30th, we're hitting up Circa Las Vegas for opening day. And the second weekend of the tournament, a.k.a. Sports Heaven, baby. Thursday, March 27th, the party starts with baseball's opening day at the world's largest sports book. That's right. Big screens, big games, and big opinions from Jason and Joe. It's basically like watching sports at home, but with no chores and way more pools. Speaking of pools, dive into 6 of them at Stadium Swim and catch all the action on a 143-foot screen. Lock in now. Go to circalasvegas.com. Use promo code BLITZ and party with Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino. Sports, pools, Vegas. What could possibly go wrong?
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Rocks Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rocks the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rocks has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rocks know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
Hey, Rob Thompson here from my friends over at Prize Picks. The second half of the basketball season is here. The race to playoffs is on, and there's no better time to get Prize Picks because the money, it's heating up. 1,000 times your cash, Taco Tuesdays, and the way they pay. Let me tell you, Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your accounts. There's no better way to get started with Prize Picks than right now as basketball season ends. And here's the best thing about Prize Picks is you can combine different leagues. You got a favorite in the pros, you got a favorite in the college. You can put them together to really maximize your bets. And remember the code Alamo. Remember, you download that when you sign up today. There's money to be had. No better place than Prize Picks right now. As the basketball season winds down, go for the place to get the best cash with your favorite sports. That's Prize Picks. You know what you're doing. Go play. In fact, go run your game.
Looking for a place where strangers become friends over great drinks and food? Welcome to The Hangar, Petrenko, your go-to spot for mouthwatering wings, ice-cold cocktails, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Come taste some of the best wings in town, served by their friendly staff with even friendlier cocktails. With 20 big screen TVs for all your sports needs and a gorgeous patio to enjoy the great weather, The Hangar Petrenko has got you covered. Don't miss the official after party for the San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Tournament Monday, April 14th, only at Hangar Petrenko, where great food, drinks, and friends come together.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please. Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours. Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours. Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
San Antonio, are you ready? The 2025 NCAA Men's Final Four is coming to the Alamo City. The NCAA Men's Final Four Fan Fest, presented by Capital One, brings fun for all ages. Fan Fest is a sports wonderland of interactive games with celebrity and athlete appearances, giveaways, and much more. Come ready to play April 4th through the 7th at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. The event is free for kids 12 and under. Capital One card holders, military personnel, and 2025 Final Four ticket holders. Visit ncaa.com/men's Final Four.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the home of the Aggies, and this is Andrew Monaco. You're locked on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Always going for it, never pump. Fourth down, last call, Hail Mary, Prescott, touchdown.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on this Friday afternoon at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak, right off of the 1604 Access Road in Stone Oak Parkway Happy hour continuing until 6 o'clock. So you got 40 minutes to get down here and take advantage of half off all alcohol and $5 pretzel bites and $5 bruschetta during a happy hour.
Bruschetta.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but the pretzel bites are fantastic.
Bruschetta.
They're right in front of me right now. Bruschetta kind of feels like a mock draft, right?
Maybe
Yeah.
so. Kind of a, yeah.
Yeah, John Machota from The Athletic has his new mock draft out. The Machota Mock 2.0 is out at The Athletic. John joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. John, these are always interesting to put together because it really is spaghetti against the wall. But when Jerry Jones said earlier this week, and quite frankly, I call BS on it since they've cleared so much salary cap space, that they're not looking to fill voids in free agency, that they're going to do that for the draft. One, I don't believe them, but two, it looks like you took those words and put together a mock draft. Okay, if you're not going to go shopping in free agency, this is what you need to do with the draft.
Yeah, I just did it as that going about it because I'll do probably another 3 before now and the draft actually at the end of April. So I just did that one off of what if they didn't really do anything, other than sign a couple guys in free agency like they did last year. If you had to fill all your needs in the draft, that's the way I went into it. And I think you can fill 3 or 4, but I feel like they have at least 7 and probably maybe even 10 that they need to do between now and time training camp comes around. And so, I think they'll re-sign Jordan Lewis. I think there's a good chance of that happening. Maybe bring back Rico Dowdle and another player or two. But I still think that they'll add a player or two from another team, an actual free. I just won't be somebody early next week. It'll be somebody like we start getting into that, second tier of free agency, third tier of free agency. But I think that it'll look more similar to they did 2 years ago in the offseason than last year where they did just so little. But I just feel like that because of the restructuring of CD and Dak's contracts, some people think that they're about to be like one of the big spenders in free agency, and I don't see that happening.
Well, I'm kind of there with you too, but John, I've got to ask you, the Cowboys have 10 draft picks. Yeah, there's no way they draft 10 guys, is there?
Yeah, it's tough too because like in that 5th round, like 3 of them are within like 10 picks of each other, maybe even less than that. And so, probably not. They probably make some maneuvering, maybe package a couple together to move up in another round or do some other kind of trading thing. But yeah, I doubt they would. I don't think that this draft is that great, just to be honest with you guys. Like it's an okay draft, but it's not like a really loaded draft where you're like, no, you want to use all 10 of these picks. Like if you could move some things around to some other teams and maybe get, turn those into future 6th or 5th round picks, I'm sure they'd have some interest in that. But, maybe they look for their backup quarterback in the 5th or 6th round. Maybe that they go, young there instead of doing the Cooper Rush thing again. So maybe they use a pick there. Running back is supposed to be one of the stronger positions in this draft. And so maybe they take a running back in the 2nd round and maybe they take another one in the 6th or something like that. And even though they signed Osa, I still don't think they're done at defensive tackle. And so that would be another spot that maybe it doesn't look like a glaring need right now, but they need help at defensive tackle too. So, if you're not filling any holes right now, I can use up those 10 picks pretty quickly, pretty easily.
Yeah, very true. John Machota from The Athletic here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And you accomplished a goal today. I think all mock drafts create debate. You certainly did today. We were going through it earlier on the show. You've got a wide receiver going in round 1, running back in round 2, Caleb Johnson, the kid from Iowa. I don't really have an issue with that. Ryan Eagle did because they need help on the defensive front. And because this is such a loaded running back draft, can you wait on getting a running back? Your thought process in having the Cowboys take a running back in round 2?
Yeah, it's kind of just a combination of the last 3 years of where I just felt like after you got the first, maybe even 2nd round, it just seemed like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, they just always talk themselves out of a running back. So it's like, all right, so you don't take one in the 2nd round, and then the 3rd round comes around, and everyone is going, okay, this is finally where they take a running back. And then they're like, nah, we kind of like this linebacker. We don't know when we're going to get Overshown back. Yeah, now we'll wait a little bit longer. Don't have a 4th round pick. We'll use one of those 5th. Next thing you know, and you're just getting a guy, you're like, is this the guy you're really going to give, all your touches to? Somebody you guys got in the 5th round, So that's why I just said, because in that position, there were only 2 backs off the board. Omarion Hampton from North Carolina. He was the last pick of the first round. And then Ashton Genty went in the top 5. And so you pretty much had your pick of any of the other running backs. And I could see them having some intrigue there, whether it be the Iowa guy that I picked or there's 2 different Ohio State backs. That's the only reason, just the way the draft fell. I thought that kind of made some sense there because running back it has to be addressed at some point. And I don't think they can wait till the 5th.
I get that, and I'm going to tell you what your pick in round 1, the wide receiver McMillan out of, I'm not sure how to say his first name. Is it I'm not sure. Anyway, McMillan out of Arizona.
Everybody is called Tat, just T-E-T, Tat.
Tat McMillan out of Arizona. I like that pick, and I wouldn't be upset with that pick at all. I just don't think the Cowboys on their roster right now have anything that they can count on to be that number 2 receiver. And if this guy he's a big guy. I just think CD Lamb needs the help, and he needs to have somebody over there that's going to take some attention away from him.
Yeah, and I'll say this again. That was going on about this as they didn't fill any need. I would not be totally surprised if they found a veteran receiver like they did with Brandon Cooks via a trade, or maybe even signing someone as a free agent. There's a lot of talk about Cooper Kupp, Rams trying to trade him, and then ultimately they might just release him. Somebody that's a veteran who's probably 30 or older, who you can probably get on a 1-year deal, and so you're not really committing that long term to him. That wouldn't shock me. And if you do a deal like that, you don't need to take a wide receiver high, and you can maybe take an edge rusher there, or you address a different position, maybe even corner. But I look at the weapons they have on offense, and they need more help. And that's the other part with me is I included in that story, just like you look at the first player taken for each coach in Cowboys history. Schottenheimer's the 10th coach in Cowboys history. You look at those other 9, and not all of them, but most of them line up with whatever that coach's specialty is. Usually that's what they target with that coach's first pick, and I'm leaning offense, not just because of that, but I just think they need a lot of help on offense and playmakers. And your head coach is also your offensive play caller, your first time head coach. I think that an offensive playmaker at 12 makes a lot of sense.
Totally agree with that, and it wouldn't surprise me. And I'm just kind of hoping it's not a running back in the first round. Although, man, the ones that are pointed towards the Cowboys, I don't want it, but I don't know that I'd be mad at it as a Cowboy fan. But that makes it so much interesting and fun to watch. But let's go back to free agency. The frenzy begins on Monday. They cleared so much cap space with the obvious restructures with Dak and CD. Those were expected. And I kind of think if they get a deal done with Micah pretty soon, to me, that's an indication that they could be bigger players in free agency than historically they have been. What is your thought on how the Cowboys' approach to free agency will be if Micah gets a deal or if Micah does not have a deal by next Wednesday?
So that would be the move that would signal a big change for me. They've restructured Dak's contract before. They've restructured CDs, Zach Martin's, Des Bryant's, DeMarcus Lawrence. Tyron Smith. This is nothing new what they've done, and they will sell it as, well, we got to be able to pay for our draft class, moves that we make during the season, paying some of our own players to come back and things like that. Like they'll make 50, 55, 60 million seem like it's 20 million to the fans when they talk about it. So what they've done so far really isn't that far, including signing Osa. That was a deal that I compare that one more to Trayvon Diggs, where it's not like he was trying to max out the market. He got a respectable contract, but ultimately the player wanted to stay in Dallas and they wanted to keep him. So there is really nothing that has changed where it makes me think, okay, well, business is different now. There's something different going on here. I did think that a little bit when Jerry didn't talk at the combine, but then he talked for 11 minutes after the Zach Martin press conference. So, then it was back to old Jerry. So the only thing that would really signify change to me before an actual free agent move happened would be to see that Micah Parsons contract get done, because that would really signal, oh, they're trying to get this done so they can do something more in free agency or via trade. But I wouldn't bet on that. All along I've said I think July is when it gets done, because I just think both sides the Cowboys will take the most heat for it, but I don't think either side is running to the. I mean, I think the Cowboys would love to. Hey, that deal that just got done, Max Crosby, we'll give you a little bit more than that. Let's knock this out 4 years. Let's get this. But I think that both sides want something that the other side doesn't, and so it's not just going to be the Cowboys on this. And the longer that Micah waits and his agent waits, the closer he probably gets to 40 plus million per year. And so that's why I don't think it gets done in the next week. I think it drags out. I don't think he's at OTAs and mini camp. And then I think ultimately right before training camp, or maybe the first week of training camp, that's when it gets done.
John, how do you think the Myles Garrett situation, the Trey Hendrickson situation, and even to some extent the Jamar Chase situation affect Micah's deal?
Chase certainly will, because of the fact that I think that Micah's contract, whatever he gets, he will be, kind of where Max Crosby is right now, with that average annual value being the highest paid non-quarterback in league history. So right now, I think Max's deal is a little over 35. And so I think if Micah was to get a deal done right now, he'd probably get 37 or 38. But I think if he waits until July, maybe it goes up to 40. But I think he tops whatever Chase gets or anybody else between then, just because he's set himself up like that. I mean, he's one of the top 5 edge rushers in the league. He's coming off of, really proving it on the field. And he has, the Cowboys, if they're not paying him, somebody else would. There's not a ton of leverage here. I mean, I guess they could exercise that 5th-year option and just anger Micah, where now he's not at any training camp, which sounds like an awful idea for someone who you probably want on the field with your brand new coaching staff. So I think he has a lot of leverage, and I think that's ultimately what happens. And I know there'll be a lot of fans rubbed the wrong way about that, because Micah has said multiple times how he's willing to take a little bit less so that they can make moves and things like that. So, I mean, hey, Micah's saying one thing, Jerry's saying the other. A lot of people are talking, but the actions speak louder than words.
Certainly do. John Machota from The Athletic here on the Blitz. When you think about the other free agents, I thought it was interesting the way Stephen Jones worded things the other day at the Zach Martin retirement press conference, in the importance of getting Osa done. I mean, I think he was about to hammer Mozzie and realized he probably shouldn't do that. But then he talked about, we are talking to the free agents that we want to keep. Jordan Lewis has got to be on that list. Are they close to getting a new deal done with J. Lou?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're close, but I would think he's top. I don't think he's just like near the top. I think he is the number one guy out of, when you factor in his age, the importance to the team, and what it would take to get his deal done. It's not one of these like $20 million, $15 million a year deals. So that's the one that I think would get done first. I think that one makes the most sense. I know Jordan wants a 2-year deal. The Cowboys probably just want to do one. But I think that they can get that figured out. And it obviously helps Jordan that they need help at corner bad. I mean, if Trayvon Diggs is coming off a completely healthy season and playing at a high level, you're like, you got Diggs and Bland. We don't have to go too crazy on the other. So you have to invest in another corner and possibly even draft another corner relatively high, because you don't know exactly when Diggs is going to get back, and when he does, what level he's playing on. And this is a league where you need at least 4 good corners. And so I think Jordan has a lot of leverage. So he, out of all of them, the Ricos, the Chauncey Golstons, Israel Mukwamus, all the guys there, DeMarcus Lawrence, Rico Dowdle, none of them I think are higher on the list than Jordan. And ultimately, I do think something gets done with Jordan. I'd be surprised if Jordan isn't with the Cowboys this upcoming season.
And D-Law, John, I'm of the opinion I don't think he's back. Do the Cowboys want him back?
I mean, I think they'd want him back on a very team-friendly deal. I don't think he has any interest in that. So, no, I don't expect that to happen. I think he ends up maybe going to Washington, but it sounds like from what I heard out of the Combine that he wants to keep playing. And so if he does, then, yeah, I mean, I get it. You probably want to finish your career with the team you were drafted by, but if they don't make you a respectable offer, I totally can understand why you'd want to go play for a rival, especially one that's, coached by a guy that used to be your defensive coordinator. So, yeah, he'd be a little bit further down on my list. I don't see that happening, which, again, that opens up another hole because, yeah, you feel great about Micah, but then the next 2 guys are Sam Williams and Marshawn Nealon, which you like their upside, but you don't know for sure what they're going to. You need another defensive end you can count on if you don't bring back DeMarcus Lawrence. And so there you go. There's another spot. If you let D-Law walk and you don't add another major, edge rusher type between now and April, I mean, that is absolutely in play at number 12.
Well, and John, as you were out there in the combine, I think about last year, we knew the Cowboys weren't going to pay Tony Pollard $10 million a year. He walked. Rico is now up. What is the actual market for Rico?
That's a good question. I don't have a good feel for that at all. I don't know that they do either. He's obviously coming off a 1,000-yard season. It's a career year, but I can't see them giving him some like $10 million contract, maybe $4 or $5 million per season, something like that. But I don't think even if they bring back Rico that they're like, okay, we're set at running back. Now we don't need to draft one. Like, you bring back Rico and then you can go in the draft where, all right, we don't need to necessarily take one in the first, maybe not in the second round, but we need another back. What I thought they would do in last year's draft. So, they would like to have him back. That's for sure.
John Machota from The Athletic. Make sure you subscribe to The Athletic and follow John on Twitter at John Machota, Jon Machota, no H in there, especially in the next week. The free agent frenzy begins, although with the Cowboys, you might get some dust on your Twitter feed because I don't expect much, especially the early part of next week, John. Enjoy your weekend, man. Always appreciate the knowledge and insight.
Absolutely, guys. Take it easy.
Appreciate it. John Machota from The Athletic on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. UTSA has made a very interesting football decision. No spring game. Let's talk about it coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, I tell you what, it feels like spring outside, that's for sure. So that's too bad, but doesn't mean you can't go out and play a little bit of golf, and you really should. The weather's supposed to be phenomenal this weekend, so it's a great time to dust off the golf clubs, get out to the Golf Club of Texas, and go play some golf. Best way to do that is go to golfclubtexas.com. Again, that's golfclubtexas.com. That's where the best rates are always online. And look, if you haven't been out to the Golf Club of Texas lately, you haven't been out there. The place is completely different. They have upgraded everything. Brand new golf cart paths going on all over the golf course. They've resodded. They've redone the Xeriscape. They've redone everything. It looks like a country club, but it's not. It is open to the public 7 days a week, and the people out there are just really friendly folks. You're going to have a great time. You go out there, you play some golf, then you go to the Tin Cup Bar and Grill, have some food, have some drinks, and just have a great day. Take your buddies out there. Take your family out there for dinner at the Tin Cup. You can do it, and certainly not going to break the bank if you do. It is just a great place to go, whether you're playing golf, whether you're going for dinner, whatever you're doing. The Golf Club of Texas is the place you need to be. Golf Club of Texas, hey, you know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Again, best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the Final Four is just a couple of weeks away. Conference tournaments start this week. We'll get you ready. And how the Spurs do this weekend. Lots of hoops talk, lots of off-season football talk, all that and more. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. The San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for our home opener Sunday, April 27th at 2 when the Brahmas bring the Fiesta to the gridiron with our Viva Fiesta, Viva Brahmas themed game. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Tickets on sale now at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
Is that a new Samsung Galaxy A15 5G?
Yeah, I got it for free when I joined Cricket Nation.
Sounds pretty great.
At Cricket, anyone can get a new phone when they switch.
Whoa.
With a high-quality camera, meaning more flattering selfies for all, and super fast 5G, so you can post them for all to see. Your friends, your family, your ex. Free phone! Free phone!
Okay, I'll switch.
Welcome to Cricket Nation.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must bring your number to Cricket on a $60 a month voice plan. First month service charge and tax to its sale. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, San Antonio, multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Please don't do that. You're Joe Reinagel. You're an idiot. Edwin, can you play the Jeff Traylor sound? What is it? You're a dumb butt? Edwin?
Edwin's too nice a guy to do that.
I'm trying to find it. I didn't even know we had it.
Yeah. That way, Ed. Don't worry about it,
There
Edwin.
you go. All right.
Yeah. See, Edwin.
Well, the regular Blitz listeners that know it, that would be the perfect time because you're trying to do a little air guitar in your chair. And the sad part is on YouTube, people didn't see what was going on below the table where you were strumming your air guitar. So just your facial reactions on YouTube.
Oh, you're a dumb butt.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Better late than never.
Yeah. Speaking of Jeff Traylor, UTSA makes quite the announcement today, and they are going to skip the spring football game, according to Greg Luca at the San Antonio Express News. Now, a lot of teams are doing this. I believe Texas was one of the first that said, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore. And you think about, the spring fiesta game, everything that's been a part of it. The quote in the paper from Jeff Traylor: spring games have traditionally been a part of college football, but the landscape of college athletics is changing faster now than ever before. In recent years, all across the country, spring games have been less of a game and more of an expanded practice to conclude our spring workouts. All right, that makes sense. Injury risk is what Sark had said. Matt Rule said fear of tampering, believing players are targeted by other schools and the transfer portal following exposure in the spring game. And quite honestly, that's what it is. And with the transfer portal window, and Jeff Traylor said something like this the other night on Channel 4, and Edwin, I believe we have this audio, when there was debate on whether or not there would be a spring game.
Because we're going so late, the transfer portal will have already started. For all I know, we might not have enough players to play a spring game. You don't know. I want to see what that's like. And Dr. Compost, now there's a couple of things we're still working on. And we think we'll have an announcement here and a schedule in the next couple of days, but we're still not sure yet.
Yeah, well, they are now, and it's done. And I think Jeff Traylor's right. I mean, with the transfer portal, why put them on display? But also at the same time, depending on how things go, what if he doesn't have enough players really go through spring?
Well, I mean, that's always a possibility, I guess. It's sad. Yeah, it really is kind of sad because I know a lot of fans look forward to those spring games. They can get out there and kind of get a look at the players and what's coming up. So to me, that's kind of sad, but it is what it is. And boy, I tell you what, the way college football is changing, and I know transfer portal has in a lot of respects made teams better, quicker, makes it exciting, but I wish they would do something to fix all this stuff.
Well, and again, the transfer portal, all of that. When the revenue share, if they're going more to an NFL model, and that's something that Sark said, let's get rid of the spring game. Jeff Traylor is the one that told us, don't get mad at the kids because the adults in the room made the decision. And the athletic calendar doesn't marry up with the academic calendar. So that's why the the transfer portal window is so difficult in December, January, because if you're in a bowl game, if you're you're in the portal and you're leaving school, well, from the academic part, you've got to be at that school sooner rather than later. Spring, same kind of thing. If I'm out and I'm leaving, why am I going through spring practice here?
Yeah, you're not. And that's the problem. And that's why, look, college football needs to become pro football. And they need to make the same schedule. And it's ridiculous the way it is. Because, look, I'm going to tell you. Yeah, we were talking about the revenue share and how the AAC's got a plan in place. UTSA is going to have to put this, and all schools are. But you're right. When you said this earlier, that year one is going to be so much different than year three, it's going to be that much more expensive in year three. So that $10 million now for the first 3 years is going to be null and void to me after year one.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to come back in and do something else about it. They've got to get a handle on this because you can't keep paying these kids millions and millions and millions of dollars forever. It's going to get out of control. And pretty soon, we're going to be talking about $40 million a year college players.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not wrong. And that's scary and unfortunate on so many levels. I am curious, and it doesn't really say in this Express News article, so I don't know if UTSA has announced a plan. I guess they'll have traditional spring practices, just not have a spring game at the end where fans and other teams can come and watch. What he originally said after signing day, that they were going to delay the start of spring practice until March 25th, then go 9 weeks of old school back to basic strength training and conditioning, trying to curb the rash of injuries that affected them last year, and then have the spring game in late April. The transfer portal window is set to be April 16th through the 25th. And so I could see where you wouldn't want to have a spring game on in late April if the window is open. You might have a whole bunch of guys leave, and now how are you going to put on a game and an actual game, especially when they've kind of become glorified practices? You hate it for the fans. You hate it for the players that, probably aren't going to be on the field in August, September, October, because their spring game, that was a chance for them to shine.
Absolutely.
I mean, you think about what happened on the 40 acres last year. I mean, watching Arch Manning in the spring game made us all want to just skip over Quinn Ewers' final year.
We sure did.
Because Arch looked so damn good in that spring game.
And they should have. They might have won a national title. Who knows if Arch would have been back there. You just never know.
And they could have given him the ball on the goal line against Georgia, and who knows?
They could have done that.
That's on Sark.
It's really too bad what's happening. And I get it. Schools are forced to do this. Feel bad for the fans, but again, somebody, and I don't know if it's going to have to come down to politicians, for goodness sake, which I hate. I don't want to get politicians involved in this thing, but my gosh, somebody's got to do something. The NCAA has no stones. They're not doing anything, and this thing continues to spiral out of control. The conferences are trying to fix it, and it's just it's got to get fixed, man.
Well, and the American Athletic Conference, which UTSA is in, took a major step today, announcing a minimum that every university in the American, with the exception of Army and Navy, are going to have to pay their student athletes in that revenue share deal. And as we talked about earlier, at least we know what the floor is. But if you're operating at the minimum, you're probably not going to be very good. So, but at least we know what that floor is. We reached out to Tim Pernetti, the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference. He was traveling today because they're getting ready for all their conference tournaments and stuff. So hopefully early next week he will be on with us. We had also reached out to UTSA. They're busy and traveling, same kind of thing. And apparently having a meeting late this afternoon, making the decision on do we have a spring game or not. And the answer is no.
That's just that. And I don't know. That just I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm surprised and kind of disappointed, I guess. But it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. I just know that if Jeff Traylor needs whatever he needs, they need to find it and continue to keep this program rocking and rolling like it has been. Look, Traylor's a genius, or a magician, I should say, in the respect of keeping players here. They want to play for him. But eventually it's not going to be that way, that even Jeff Traylor's charisma is not going to be enough. You're going to have to pay these kids.
I think you would rather be known as a genius than a magician.
Well, I think he's a magician. I'm not sure I want to go genius just yet with Jeff Traylor. I love the guy, but genius is a little high praise.
Well, I mean, one, consider the source, but two, who's calling him a genius and a magician, but he certainly works some magic.
He works magic.
And in a genius way.
Yes. Yeah. Well, he's just relatable.
Yeah.
I mean, players love to play for this guy. And that makes a huge difference. And back before NIL and transfer portals, that was what you needed. And Jeff Traylor was the guy. And now, unfortunately, just charisma and relationships is not enough.
No, recruiting now is about money.
Yep.
And what we could tell, at least to this point, if a kid's mom or dad or the kid said, if we ain't starting here, don't bother calling.
Right.
I don't know that that's the guy Jeff Traylor wants anyway. But I don't know that as things change, if he'll continue to be selective. You know, it's a pay-to-play kind of game now.
It is.
With no salary cap.
Out of control.
Out of control. We'll have more on this next week. Monday, the free agent frenzy begins. Make sure you listen to the Morning Huddle with Rob and AJ. Monday morning starting at 6. We're back Monday at 2. In the meantime, place to eat this weekend, tonight, whenever. Get into Mellow Mushroom here in Stone Oak. 1604 Access Road by Stone Oak Parkway. Have a great weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field.